Let's go.
So titties or ass, that is probably going to be included in it itself. So live stream has begun.
All right, it's loading.
Okay, hello
You
everybody, you sexy tovarishi habibis and comrades. How is my Hakim doing? How
hold
is
up,
my JT
hold up,
doing?
hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. Habibi, there's a loop. You need to exit from the live window, the YouTube thing, JT.
Exit the YouTube thing. Oh God. Okay.
Yeah, now he's good because
just
no,
hit tab.
it's got a delay. Yeah, now
Okay.
it's good from what I can see. We only have our three beautiful faces on the screen. It should be now.
All right, great. Hello, everybody. Please let us know if there is some sort of delay. Please let us know if there's something wrong. Please let us know. Yeah, all that.
Yeah, this is our first one, or at least it's my
before we
first
start
one.
everything.
So we're probably gonna do something wrong here.
We'll be fine. JT is a virgin in live streaming, but me and Hakeem are very experienced in everything except live streaming. But we will teach the young one, who's not the young one, who's actually the older one. But
Thanks,
in the soul, the young one, no problem. A son. Oh no, now it got weird. Yeah, you should not reply to daddy with son, unless it's your actual child. Then that is okay.
All right. People say it's all good, so I think we can start. Hello, everybody. This is a, I guess, less orthodox Deprogram episode. Today we'll be doing a live sort of thing. We'll try to, talk about some topics. We'll take some questions from chat. We'll just chill and have a good time. I'll try to limit my swearing to a minimum because some people have brought that to my attention. I'm kidding. I probably won't. But yeah, if this goes well and if you guys do enjoy this, then we're gonna probably make this like a monthly thing, once a month thing. Maybe we'll do more fun stuff and not just have the animation on repeat in the background. We'll see. The world is our oyster. To everybody who celebrates Ramadan Kareem, I hope that your fasting is going well. I hope that you're going to spend some lovely time with your families. Of course, be diligent with your prayers, with your fasting, and don't overindulge in this blessed month of ours. Yeah, should we get started, guys?
Let's do it. So before we begin, make sure you guys, if you're playing the Deprogram drinking game, don't play the Deprogram drinking game. You will die. You're not going to make it through this.
It's okay. You have a doctor on call here. I'll tell you what needs to be done. I mean, there's not much that I can help you out over a live stream, but we'll make it work somehow. Yeah. Oh Lord, people are like, make it a daily thing. I would sooner kill myself. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't think
we all have day jobs, guys. We all have day jobs, guys. I'm sorry. I don't think it'll be possible. By the way, some cunt was like, hey, they're probably late because of Hakeem. No, for once. For once. I'm joking. Hey, we're all very what's it called, punctual. It's just that OBS was being the lovely program that it usually is. So it took a second.
And by that, the very kind Hakeem means I had no idea what I was doing, and they had to walk me through every step.
No, it's okay, my son. It wasn't your fault. It's because we're cool kids, and cool kids are never on time, absolutely, anywhere. If you are too punctuous, what is that the word? Punctuous?
Punctual.
If you're too punctual, then it can be used against you in court. But yes, so what's everybody in chat? This is going to be some kind of like a semi Q&A. We're going to talk about whatever we want to talk about because respectfully, it's our show. But also, if you have any sort of questions or anything, you're free to write it out in chat. And if we get to see it, we will reply to it. And if it's interesting enough, obviously. Man, I sound cocky and like a piece of shit. Previously, I think it would be like as we ate. I mean, everybody except the person celebrating Ramadan, even though he can now eat. But we were joking because JT was eating chicken from, what was it, Chick-fil-A?
Yep.
So it was the homophobic chicken. And then I was like, okay, it's Saturday. I might as well be unhealthy as well. So I went and I got the Ukrainian killing vodka. And I just really was very proud of that joke. So I wanted to squeeze it into the thing. Also, I hope just the animation isn't too boring for you guys. I genuinely don't think it is, and we're very proud of having made it. There's still a lot of things in the actual room. I don't know if you guys noticed, but that people still haven't really found or given us shit for. It's very funny when, MLs come in there like, what the fuck is Tito doing there? And then like Titoists come in and they're like, why the fuck you got Lenin books? And then our anarchist brothers and sisters and NBs come in and shit about half of the fucking room. Yeah, but then we save ourselves with the dogs, and nobody has given the shit for dogs.
And then Joker mains show up and say, "Why is there a DK emoji on the or a DK amiibo on the shelf?" Get lost, Joker mains. If you're a Joker main, get out of our live stream. I lost to a Joker so badly the other day; it was heartbreaking.
I guess you could say we live in a society.
We do live in a society.
I was just gonna say that's true. There was one super chat that from CVS. Isn't that a pharmacy store in the US that just says Ramadan Mabruk? And I say Ramadan Mabruk to you as well, and to everybody watching. But yeah, and somebody asked Yugopnik to say something.
What the fuck, Akim? Why is your server correction so perfect? Yes, padaj silo I nepravdo, which means
power
down to power and injustice. But what, dude? No, it was perfect, man. JT, try to say it as well. Padaj silo I nepravdo. Say it, JT. Come on.
Gdje moja jablka?
I don't know if I really like doing this podcast because we get to teach people, deprogram people, and for me, subjectively and as a degenerate liberal individualist, build up a alternative career through this, or because I get to bully an American for 3 hours straight. I don't know which one of those.
Oh fuck, I love it. Oh dude, actually, I thought that might be a neat thing to do. We can just kind of go through the image and just kind of talk about it a bit. By the way, there's almost 700 people watching. This is insane.
Who are you people?
Hey, you're all very welcome. I'm so glad. I was expecting 60 people to show up. Honestly.
Yeah, this is great. This is really great.
Somebody's saying I'm a bit quieter. Hold up 1 second.
Yeah, start yelling.
My gain is now up. You should hear me better now. By the way, I can do the weird ASMR thing, but I'm not.
No. There are probably kids listening, so we would have to unlist it and put it for 18 plus.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of questions asking what I'm playing on the GameCube. It is obviously Melee, Smash Melee, which I played for a very long time. I didn't do Brawl. I played a bit of Smash Wii U, but I always thought Melee was better than both of them. And then when Ultimate came out, I switched to Ultimate. I think it's the best yet, personally. But yeah, I'm playing Smash.
I heard a joke that a friend of mine that plays a shit ton of fighting games, she's like, as a kid, everybody was like, why are you spending so much time playing games, specifically fighting games? That's not going to do anything for you in life. And he's like, at best, a 5, maybe a 6, and he's dating a 10. And he literally, I laughed so much. He was like, guys, I don't even have a big dick. I just played fucking Smash my whole life. So these fingers are fucking terrorists, if you know what I mean. So you never know what sort of random life skill that you never thought could be useful ends up completely changing your life. Like me, for example, being a walking stereotype. Turns out you can do that as a career.
Honestly. All right, I was gonna say because a bunch of people are asking several questions about the background, so I guess we can just kind of go through it real quick. Maybe how about this? How about each one of us, we just say the things that we like to throw up in the picture, and then I can go first if you guys don't mind.
Go for it.
All right. So my stuff. Okay, I'm the Lenin character, and that was unintentional. I just didn't know what the fuck to depict myself as. I'm not trying to be some egotistical, I'm Lenin. I was just I'm a red guy. It was either this or a floating Lenin portrait, but the floating Lenin portrait would have been taken longer to animate, so we just went with this. I'm drinking tea. I'm reading something inconspicuous. So yes. Other than that, yeah, the boring shit. There's a stethoscope on the table because I'm a physician. There's a lab coat in the back because I'm a physician. These were not my ideas, by the way. It was Yugopnik's idea to put that shit in there.
He literally said, put a stethoscope. And I was like, this cringy little motherfucker. Yes, I'm fucking with you.
Yes, not the lab coat. The lab coat was not my idea. Actually, I don't think it was you. I think it was the artist that added it in the beginning. which is pretty neat. But yeah, other than that, it's just the posters. There's a Molchat Dama poster, which is amazing. I really like Molchat Dama. I listen to them almost on the daily. I remember when they did the stupid Spotify rap thing, it was like, oh, you are the top 1% whatever listeners. So that's a right underneath that. There's a Bamboo poster, Bambu. He makes fantastic revolutionary rap and hip hop, really good music. And then to the right of that is a poster of Kulthum, which is the like a classic of Arab music. Yeah, and then in the background just a bunch of books, some Lenin, some Parenti. There's a Quran down there as well. That's about my contribution. Oh, and there's
Uh,
a plate with kleche. There's a plate with kleche, which is the national cookie of Iraq, which is a date cookie. It's absolutely delicious. Highly recommend you guys try it out if you ever get the chance. Sorry, you guys take it away from me.
I can jump in with my favorite item, which is on the bottom right corner of the table, which is cevapi, or as you degenerates call it, kebapi, with onion and bread. You do not eat it with anything else. Everything else is cursed. And if you don't smell like sewage by the time you finished, then you didn't have real cevapi. Truest way of telling somebody you're on a date with that you're not about to have sex with them is to take them out for cheva, because both of you will smell so hard that nobody will want to do anything with the other one. So it's a much better way to let people down. I'm kidding. If a date takes you out for some chevapi, that's a keeper. My favorite item in the room, though, is the gun in the box, which is kind of how I keep it myself. My very cool grandpa, who was an avid Marxist, etc., and a member of the Yugoslav army, left it to me after he passed. The pistol is still usable. I maintain it, etc., But I was told that it's an M57 Zastava from, I think, 1963 or 64. So I don't want to play with fire, literally, because I don't want a piece to fly back into my face. Even though those fucking things literally do not break. It's registered. It's everything. If some Balkan government is listening right now, but yes, it's kept in the casing with like inscribed, and I want to give that to my child, and then their child, and their child. Funny enough, the process was extremely tedious and extremely expensive for my part of the world to even do. We have actual tax on guns and like very serious tax, which whatever. But I passed the whole process. I have other weapons or whatever. I'm not here to sell you on pro or against. But yeah, the process was long, but it was absolutely worth it. And right above the gun is an even more interesting thing. If one zooms in, it's the 5 billion dinars note, for which is kind of a perfect metaphor of the falling apart of Yugoslavia, and when the president of then non-socialist anymore, but just the Republic of Yugoslavia, Slobodan Milosevic, was like, "Oh, we can just print money; nothing's gonna happen." And then you have $5 billion bills that can't pay for a newspaper. So yes, I also have that right above my TV, just to remind me of what can happen when people want to piss on a relatively successful experiment. And the last, but not least, the little Tito and the little Orthodox Bible, and the again from my grandpa, a militia jacket, which unfortunately is very associated at this point with war crimes, because yeah, a lot of people wore those when they were throwing people in ditches, but it's a fashion statement, and I like it. So I'm never getting rid of it. I do not give a fuck of how many or how many people scream ACAB at me, which I agree with, but it's militia, blядь. And yeah, those are my items. And obviously the sandwich key on the table, because as again, I'm a walking stereotype, and I wish I was pretending. Unfortunately, I'm not. JT, take it away before I ramble on for too long.
I was just gonna add one thing to what Yugopnik said, which is it was like about the registering of weapons. Nobody in Iraq registers their weapons. Sorry, go on, DT.
I was just gonna say, I see the chat asking about how we feel about the first successful unionizing of Amazon, of that Amazon warehouse.
Amazing.
Yeah, awesome.
Amazing.
Really, really good. I mean, considering that the dude was fired, and Amazon was like, yeah, make this guy the face of unionizing, and then he went on to lead a successful unionizing effort of an Amazon warehouse is poetic justice to me. I think that's fantastic.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Chad guy really seems like a really cool guy, and not too egotistical, which is a good sign. So hopefully more of that will be coming. The U.S. desperately needs more stuff like that. But yeah, looking good with Starbucks and now with Amazon. Maybe we could open the floodgates, but we'll see. But hopping back to the picture, let's see. I'll speed run mine. GameCube, playing Melee. Obviously, I've got some Magic cards on the table. Big Magic nerd. I've got like 19 Commander decks, something like that. I've got a few more on the way. I've got my blessed Tito's vodka, which is I believe Austin vodka, Austin, Texas. They make a great, if you're into vodka, a citrus vodka you can just drink by yourself, even if you're by itself, if it's or by yourself, whatever.
This motherfucker just said great citrus vodka. I am about to jump through my motherfucking microphone and fuck you up in your own home in front of your dogs. No, I'm kidding. And actually, like Ciroc is very good vodka that's made out of grapes. That is good. But don't fucking drink that infused shit. You're already, Hakeem will agree, being a unhealthy motherfucker by drinking alcohol in the first place. Then you want like tasters and like emulgators and shit stuck in that fucking shit. No.
Well, if you have the citrus, you don't have to mix it with and of course then you'll say you don't have to mix it with anything ever. But yeah, Tito's is great. I've got my DK amiibo on the shelf there. The dogs are mine. That's Bandit and Bagel. They're very sweet. We had to get Bandit a special little like a scuba sleeve thing because he's been licking his paw so much that he's opened it up, got some ant bites, and then he's been messing with it. So, but they're my sweet little doggos. They're healer pit mixes, so they're very energetic. They like to chase the frisbee all the time. I think that's. Oh, I put the Avatar poster too over on the right hand side. Big fan of that show. Watched it as a kid growing up, and it's a fun one to go back to. I think that's everything. Yeah. Yep. That's all I got.
And the carpet, of course.
And the
carpet, I think, was a mix. That was a mix between Yugopnik and I's relative carpet traditions from our countries.
Exactly. But the funny thing, my love, the funny thing about the carpet is like you don't really like have to mix it. It's the same. It's pretty much depending on the different region. There's a different aesthetical shit that's attached to it. At least in like the Balkan region, it changes every, I don't know, literally 50 kilometers because it comes back from whatever tribe from 5 quadrillion years ago. But yeah.
I was just gonna say, there's a guy in the comments called Deprogram Files. He started making hi, by the way, Habibi. He makes he clips some of our episodes and then adds like footage to it and just tries to kind of make it funny. I really like it. He was the first guy to make the Black Cock Down thing. So that was pretty neat.
And that became a fucking big thing. Yeah, the guys.
So greetings to you, Habibi. Hope you're doing well.
People who don't know the context, just listening to Hakeem right now, like, oh, yes, the Black Cock Down, big thing. Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, it's the movie Black Hawk Down, but we made fun of it, and it was from the first episode. Yeah.
Was it really the first episode? Jesus Christ!
I think it was the first episode or the second.
Something like that.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
But somebody wrote, judging from how Hakeem and Hugo talk to each other, I hope that couch is washed regularly. No, sadly it isn't. Not only
it is,
but somebody
by JT, we are doms and he's our sub, and but we don't sexually assault him. We just make him clean everything.
I just like the maid outfit. I think I look cute in the maid outfit.
You do, but I don't know why Hakeem keeps making you put on the butler one. Like,
I love it. But somebody in the chat said was right. Yeah, exactly. Yugopnik is my favorite image, and is my favorite thing in the image. But yeah, also somebody else was saying, "Hey, is the intro music is stock, right?" No, it's not. We had it.
What the fuck?
Actually, it was JT who reached out to a person he knew and got it. We got it custom made. And the idea behind it is we tried to do an infusion of our 3 cultures, and try to kind of mix the music together. And I thought it turned out pretty well.
Yeah, I think it slaps. We are hoping to get a full length, like proper song length version of the intro music, which a lot of people have requested. So that would be a lot of fun, I think. So when we do, we will make it available to all of you guys. And no, I'm not sending pics of me in a maid outfit. I just saw the chat. No.
Now maybe if we hit I don't know a certain number on Patreon, I might be willing to release some photos I have of JT in a maid outfit. So don't worry, we signed NDAs before they did it. Just to read out some super chats before they disappear. Apologies if some do. From a person aptly titled Commie Boy. Yo, love that I caught you guys live. The Deprogram is easily one of the best podcasts out there. We do not agree, but thank you. You are very kind. We spend around 60% of every episode being confused about why anybody would listen to us, but I guess there's something there because as communists know more than anybody else, the market is always right. Right after that, we have Brickitect. Man, if somebody puts the N-word or something in one of their names, I'm gonna be so stupid and fucking read it. Because I just my brain is too slow. I have to I can't read in advance. So in New York City yesterday, how do you guys feel about? Oh no, sorry, this was already read about the Amazon. Union. Again, absolutely phenomenal, and not to amp up like cults of personality, but I just really want the name Christian Smalls to be in people's heads, because this person, the leader, really did an incredible thing, especially as a person who was fired from the organization in the first place. So it's a very good start, and to a lot of people, it might not sound like a big thing because, back in like the 50s and 60s, you could say like the metal workers union, the miners union, it was big. But understand that Amazon has almost as many employees as whole industries did back then. So when you start to unionize in companies that are that large when it comes to just labor numbers, and if it hopefully spreads like wildfire, you can have a very, very strong base for radicalization. But not only that, if you work for, I don't know, a company that has like 3,000 employees, and you're like, man, we can't unionize here, it's too fucking hard. And then you look at Amazon, the most worker exploitative company in the Western Hemisphere, that has a fucking union. You can tell yourself, holy shit, we can unionize in our fucking mom and pop operation as well. And that's how it spreads. It's sorry if I'm over talking, but it's a really, really good thing. Next question by Ayente. What's your opinion on Bad Empanada and Vicky999? Any other left tubers you'd like to bring to the podcast? Saludos desde República Dominicana. I fucking love Dominicans. I know so many of them. I really like Bad Empanada. I think he's a psychopath in a good way. I think he's literally insane, but in a really good way. I watch his live streams like all the time. We might disagree on like maybe 20% on things, but I think he's based as fuck, and he's one of the most direct motherfuckers on this website. And the Vicky999, really good informative videos. She's super cool.
Yeah. I think for prospective YouTube people that we want to have on, I mean, should I mention people that we're thinking, or?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah.
One person that I really want to have on, and I think all of us are in agreement, is Luna Oi.
Yeah.
And we're just we have a bit of a backlog with things, and the scheduling with just us three is difficult enough, let alone getting another person and all that. So right now we don't have any guests. There's something in the works right now, but Luna Oi is definitely somebody I want to get on. As soon as possible. Otherwise, there's so many, man. We have like a list of like 30 people minimum for the near future. That, and also we want to keep fitting in our regular episodes and all that kind of stuff. We really want to develop this podcast much more. So yeah, stay tuned.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah, there's something else that somebody wrote. Where is it?
Yeah, there are a few more questions.
Andrew Murray was. He said starting a fund to buy Yugopnik more vodka. I don't think he needs that, Habibi.
Yeah.
you keep yourself well stocked.
He'll use
Don't
it.
listen to my doctor. Don't listen to my fucking doctor. You know how much Russian vodka costs right now because there's such little supply because of the fucking war. You have no fucking idea. The other night I'm going to a club with a Russian, by the way, with a Russian. And we're sitting at the bar, and I'm like hitting him with my shoulder. I'm like, dude, Just fucking nothing. He's like, yeah, but there's Smirnov. And I look at him straight in the eyes. I'm like, that's not fucking Russian. He's like, that's not fucking Russian. I'm like, obviously it's not Russian because they're selling it right now after they banned it. And you're Russian. You should know that Smirnov is fucking British horror shit. But thankfully there was some Polish vodka, which was relatively acceptable. Man, I'm really racist with my vodkas. I apologize, but it really they do hit better. I have to try Tito's, I guess. I hear that plastic bottle gives it a much better taste.
It's a glass bottle. Tito's comes in a glass bottle. Get out of here.
Leave it to Americans to have plastic bottle vodka. Like that, I'm pretty sure vodka eats through plastic after like a week. So that's probably not very good for you. But yeah, whatever.
No.
But yes, thank you. Please, yes,
VJ.
funds.
Somebody was like, maybe bring VJ Prashad on. Oh boy, you have no idea.
Yeah.
And then Andrew Murray said another $10. Say he's sending more money to undermine Hakim's medical advice. Can you not? I'm trying to.
You're gonna kill our co-host.
Oh fuck! You know,
Not to-
unironically.
Go.
Habibi.
No, you go.
It's unironically actually quite fun being the unofficial doctor of Deprogram. I'm the what's it called, the what do you Americans have, the health plan?
Oh yeah,
for the Deprogram.
Yeah, we could just send
God.
Hakeem stuff. Be like, hey, am I gonna die? And he's like, no, just stop eating that.
Yeah, the other week, and I always think of like what before saying stories like this that I should apologize because maybe somebody relatively posh and civilized actually listened to this shit, and then I realized probably they're not. Like they were dissuaded in the first 5 minutes of the first episode when we started talking about Black Cock Down. So I'm just gonna say it outright. So I'm pissing, right? And I'm standing while pissing all my life. And then I'm trying to explain just how stupid of our questions from me and JT are towards Hakeem. So I unironically asked him, should I start pissing while sitting down if it's more healthy, or should I stand up? And actually, I did get a pretty good argument, not health related, but it makes sense because if you're always pissing standing up, you fuck up your toilet more and you have to clean it more. Or if you're lazy, obviously it's not going to be clean and then you're going to catch a disease. But if you piss sitting down, for people with penises, it just goes right into the thing and you're good. So there you go. Some actually valuable information you might be able to get out of this goddamn fucking episode.
All right. One of these days, I can do a. I'm not gonna do this. I was gonna joke and be like, I can do a healthcare stream. I'm not gonna do that. If you need, please go and see your own medical professionals. If it's a simple question that right, I'll answer. But if it's like, hey, I have a, I have untreated diabetes. What should I be doing? You need to get healthcare. I'm sorry. Okay, I don't need somebody coming to me and be like, hey, leukemia. I'm like, fuck.
Jordan Hannick came in with $20. Thank you, Jordan. Jordan Hannick. He literally sounds like me and Hakim's son. Like Jordan, okay, he's from the Middle East, and Hannick sounds like he's Bosnian or something. It's fucking perfect. Hakim, we used protection, like always, right? Like you're not gonna surprise me that you popped up a kid, right?
No.
I will take care of it. If it's yours.
Look,
I'll probably just give it to our maid to take care of. I'm sorry.
I got it.
These jokes just make themselves. Like, I'm so sorry.
Oh, fuck. No, man.
We had some more questions, I think, didn't we?
Interesting.
Yes, I sorry. Yeah, so I thanked my illegitimate son. Next, CD asked thoughts on r/Gen Z Dong. I'm not much on Twitter, but I have heard about it, and I hear that we're liked there. So people that like me, I like because I'm an attention whore. You guys, attention opinion on Gen Z Dong?
Yeah. Was I was going to say, wasn't Gen Zedong privated at some point recently during the Russia-Ukraine thing? I'm not sure.
It was quarantined. It was quarantined. On Reddit or some stuff.
Huh.
No, Gen Zedong, they're pretty cool. Hi guys, I love you. I did a unofficial not cooking thing, but Q&A while I was cooking a few weeks ago. So
Hmm.
I think that's all you need to know about my opinion on
Yeah,
Denzel
sounds
Jones.
good.
Yeah, you guys are really cool.
And
Fuck
Vlad,
yes.
thank you for the medical donation.
Yes,
Wait,
since vodka
what
is
did you?
involved, here is a donation for any type of medicine or food to deal with the hangover. Actually, for that
Thank
amount
you
of
very
money
much.
in my part of the world, and probably Hakim's, we can buy a
Mm,
shit ton of hangover cleaning food. So
mm,
thank
mm,
you very, very much.
What
all
is
right.
a proper hangover? Is there a cure for a hangover, Dr. Hakim? Is there any scientific cure?
Okay, the number one cure is abstinence in this case. No,
Uh,
joking aside, you need to, if you're gonna drink, then the best way to go about it is first of all not to overload yourself, so you don't drink a lot in very small periods of time. Number one. Number two, to of course know your limits. And number three, stay hydrated. Drink lots and lots of fucking
mm,
water. Otherwise, basic electrolyte maintenance stuff is important, especially
and
if you're
you
drinking
need
beer and
you
stuff
should
like that.
eat
Because
as well, right? You should eat.
yeah, yeah,
You
yeah.
get
Don't
drunk
drink.
so much slower, like
Yeah,
if you also eat. And if you do it at
two
the
things.
same time, that's the most difficult way to get drunk. Literally, you can drink for like 8 hours,
Yeah,
you'll be fine.
Hmm.
yeah. Don't drink on an empty stomach, and don't drink carbonated drinks with alcohol.
That
This is probably
nobody knows
especially
that.
yeah,
Tell them
it's
that
gonna make
exactly.
you yeah, it's gonna make you drunk way quicker. It's gonna hit you way quicker. It's gonna hit you harder. Depending on the type of alcohol you're ingesting, of course. Uh, yeah. So eat beforehand. Don't drink too much. Know your limits and stay hydrated. So a good idea is if you're gonna have after every drink, have a full cup of water. Yeah. So that's about that.
Hmm.
And also, maybe switch out your drinking habits for something superior like tea.
Oh
my
God.
my lovely green
Plant water.
I'm I'm a fuck. Do you want to know how much of a boomer I am?
Yeah.
Every night, like right before I go to bed, I make myself a big fucking mug of green tea, and I just sit there sipping it slowly as I stare longingly outside the window. This is I unironically is my favorite pastime.
Wow.
Bliss in life for me is my green tea at night.
Man,
Oh
I've
fuck.
tried so many kinds of tea. Like in the U.S., we're big on in the South at least,
Mm,
sweet tea and
mm,
iced tea, and I hate both of those. And so I've tried some of the,
mm,
hot teas that other
mm.
cultures like apparently, and hated those too. So I guess I'm just doomed to
Have you,
never like tea.
once we'll meet up, and then I'm gonna make you some good fucking tea, and then do you know I'm gonna make you some Kashmiri tea.
Hmm.
It's not Iraq. We have lots of kinds of tea, of course, but Iraqi tea is usually just very sweet and very dark. But Kashmiri tea is a fucking with some cinnamon as well. Fucking amazing. I'll make it for you when
And
we get
while
quench.
Hakeem is making the lovely tea, and the three of us are sitting in the room, JT is gonna be like hitting me on the hand and be like, "Pass the fucking vodka to put in the cup before he sees."
Yeah. Honestly.
Oh, hold
Oh,
on. There's a semi relevant thing, I guess. Suit on the ice sent 50 of some. Is that Danish krona? I think is the currency. Thank you very much. He said, "Love the podcast. Great hearing leftist voices that aren't four white guys in Brooklyn. Thank you very much."
Hmm.
And then he has a question for me. He says, "I have a large dark spot of skin that keeps growing. What do?" This is the only medical question I'm going to take for today, but this is a good question because this is going to help a lot of listeners. Okay, there is a medical criteria that we follow when it comes to skin changes or like just weird skin shit. It's ABCDE. Very simple, right? You can look it up. ABCDE basically is for asymmetry. So you look if it's asymmetrical, the growth or the weird skin patch. That's like one point that it could be something bad. Then B, you should check the borders. C, you should see oh, fuck me. Color. I'm trying to remember it in English. My bad. So if it's very dark or very weirdly colored, what I mean is it's not one solid color, but parts are really light and parts are really dark and it looks off. That's another thing. D is diameter. So the size of it. If it's greater than 1 centimeter, usually it's considered to be bad. And then E is evolution. So a good thing to do is if you ever have a skin weirdness, basically take a picture of it now, and then every week take another picture and see if it's growing or changing. And if that's the case, then you should go to a primary care physician so they can take a look at it and maybe remove it because at the very beginning you can just what's it called? Like either do cryogenic freezing, like just freeze it and clip it out, or have just a very small local operation that is done in an in-office visit that takes like 10 minutes. So that's my what's it called? Advice. A B C D E. You can look it up on Google. That and somebody else said, Hakeem, take finasteride fast. is that, is that a joke about being Arab and going bald? Alhamdulillah, I'm not going bald, so I don't need finasteride is an androgen blocker for people who don't know. It's used as a treatment for people for hair loss and also for benign prostatic hyperplasia, so enlargement of the prostate. I don't need it. Thank you.
Hakeem just saved somebody's life probably in a
Yeah.
matter of 5 fucking minutes. That was absolutely beautiful. But but advice like that does help. Like one of my friends, I'm not gonna tell the story for too long, but you never know what like the most random fucking thing can save you. He was like, I'm gonna do yoga because I don't fucking know. He's gonna do yoga. Random fucking, I don't want to say his nationality, but guy from Eastern Europe does yoga all of a sudden. Okay, good for you, do it. But because he started stretching out like crazy, he started using specific back muscles that he never used before. And it triggered like insane pain. He was like, I'm just bad at doing yoga. Maybe I should stop. But then he went to the doctor and they were like, no, actually, the muscles pushed a tumor, but thankfully not a tumor that was growing, more towards the spine. And now he's going to get it removed. It's going to be a safe surgery and everything like that. But what I'm trying to say is maybe you go on a little random live stream and a random doctor from fucking Iraq ends up saving your life. So, you just listen to the signals in life. That's what matters. Not to sound too religious, but, the guy up there, if he exists or doesn't exist, whatever. But sometimes life is like feeding you certain shit. And a lot of us just ignore it. I have constant pain in my left butt cheek. What can that be from? And months pass, years pass. You don't check it. And then, all of a sudden, I don't know, you have like a fucking mini Chernobyl growing in there. So like just listen to some of the signals that your body or life itself is sending you. Trust me, I know this as a professional alcoholic. Life keeps sending me signals all the fucking time. But not to get too depressive, Spans said, sending money. Thank you so much for the $5. To hear you, Gopnik, say, black cock down again. Yes, block cock down. There you go. Also, thank you so much for all three of you helping move people left. You're welcome. I just hope that we're not moving people right because they might be tuning into the podcast. And they're like, oh, let's see what the communists have to say. And then like, oh my God, the communists are awful human beings. They're so rude to each other. Like, what is going on? I might as well go back to that fascist shit. Yeah.
Actually, no, I think they would like us more if we talk more about the maid outfits.
Yeah,
we already
probably.
spoke about this. It's the femboid, the fascism pipeline. These are just jokes, people. Fucking hell.
It's like Slavoj Žižek. Like I agree with 85 to 90% of everything that this motherfucker says. As you know, I'm a massive fanboy. But one of the dumbest things, respectfully, Mr. Zizek, I love you. One of the dumbest things he said was that the future of the left could be found in it being the polite wing of politics to which people who are dissuaded by radical right-wingers can move to. No, exactly in the left's kind of unfiltered and uncensored way of speaking, and the left being a space where everybody can actually be themselves, which usually means very fucking raw and very, very rude sometimes. That is what makes people feel very, very comfortable in their left. Because we make jokes. JT made a joke about himself wearing a fucking maid costume, and it's absolutely fine. You cannot do that in conservative circles, and that's exactly what attracts, for example, people that, for example, are economically pretty well off, like in capitalism, like some dying off but still available, quote unquote, middle class, even though I hate the word class being used in that spectrum. So we got to attract them in different ways. And that is one of those many ways. But yeah, what Zizek said in that case was, I mean, he's a boomer. Like, so he wants to hear people be more conservative, no matter how communist you are. The older you get, the more socially, limited you are. That's kind of a path of life.
That guy, you can't convince me that guy is just a big fucking troll.
We've got
I wish
here. Wow. I'm just scrolling through here.
Somebody take it from me. Go before
I
fuck something up.
Hakeem, you were thanked by the politism.
Oh, okay. You're welcome, Habibi.
Yeah. He says, thanks for
the politism
giving me
is really
faith
cool.
Yeah. He says, thanks for giving me faith again. And doctors, most I've met and worked with are pharma mercs. So yeah, definitely. Hakeem is one of the good ones.
That's for sure.
The only good one.
I'm glad to be. I'm glad to be it. Inshallah, you'll
Both
have better
Muslim
experience in the
and
future.
doctor.
Yeah.
A joke. Joke.
Rude.
Come
God.
on.
Nah,
I
it's a
mean,
joke,
remember, JT,
guys.
how long it took us to like find a Muslim so that this podcast can be acceptable? That obviously, actually, why am I explaining
people-
myself? Like people
Yeah.
know we're
Oh
so
yeah.
joking.
They know. We're kidding. We love each other. I've got the Politism also has a question for me. Need opinion on mono blue artifact EDH control. Okay, so for people who don't know, that he's talking about Magic the Gathering and mono blue control decks.
I was like, what the fuck are you talking, Jesse? What the fuck are you talking about? Sorry, go on.
It's like one of the most toxic play styles in Commander, in my opinion. It's like basically your goal is to play solitaire. Like normally each person has a turn and they can do stuff on their turn, but control decks, the whole point is to shut everybody else down so nobody can do stuff except for you. So yeah, respect for my blue players, but mono blue artifact control, good God, no thank you. Yeah, I personally, if I play mono colored, I'll play mono black because I think it's fun. And you're kind of beating yourself up as well as other people, so you don't feel too bad doing it. You guys are like, what the hell are you talking about?
No. It's super interesting. It kind of feels like playing a Dex character. The people who play Elden Ring will know. A dexterity bleed build online. Like I literally stopped playing online because I started feeling bad. Because a fucking tank guy with like 20 levels over me comes at me, bleed. He dies. It's I just click L2 like nothing else and I win. It's just not fun. It's not fun.
Yeah.
Which could be used as an argument against communism. No, it is not fun without the competition. But yeah, you get my point.
Yeah.
Hakeem, you have given me the disease. I am arguing with myself. Like
Yes,
I didn't know
yes.
schizophrenia. I didn't know schizophrenia is like spreadable, like COVID. You know, 'cause I got it now. Apparently, I'm kidding. Obviously, schizophrenia is not something to make light fun of. But you get my point.
Well, do we want to tackle some of these other questions? We're getting a bit of a backlog. We've got
attack.
We got one from Stewie. Says, love you guys. Big millennial fan from Portugal here. Would love to hear you on how to deal with anxiety over late stage capitalism.
Benzos.
Of course, the doctor prescribed something immediately. I mean,
I'll just say, what do you think I drink?
Yeah. There are healthy
Don't
outlets.
do that. Don't do that. I didn't say do that.
Yeah, there are healthy and less healthy outlets, like self-medicating with alcohol or opiates here in the United States, not healthy. But just cultivate hobbies, do fun stuff. You can't be worried about the state of the world all the time because you're just going to burn yourself out and make yourself miserable. So that's like the point of our background picture we have here. It's like this is all stuff that we enjoy, that we find fun, entertaining. Like I love spending time with my dogs. I love playing Magic, stuff like that. It's stuff that you can do that you're doing something active, and you're just getting your mind off of the more depressing aspect of modern life. And personally, I'm an optimist, so I like to think positive. So I don't typically get too anxious about the state of the world. But yeah, I mean, there are times when you spiral a little bit and you have to remind yourself, you know what? It's okay to get up and go have some fun.
Exactly. Yeah. And as much as I was joking with the alcohol thing, sorry, just 1 second.
Go ahead.
Fuck the alcohol thing. That was a complete fucking meme joke. I literally drink at like peaks when I'm having so much fun to make it more fun, but that's my problem.
Yeah.
The one thing I found as a great thing to kind of utilize from your understanding of just how fucked up the system is because you get to a point in which you realize that liberal moralism or ethics or whatever, when applied to pretty much 99% of every interaction, which includes money in the system, is unethical, is immoral. So in a way, that instead of making you anxious and fucking you up on a daily basis, can quite literally set you free, because you will understand that there are no rules, number one. Number two, there is no right way to go about life, because what happened to people that listen to their parents about, follow this exact path and by 25 you're going to have a house? Plot twist, unless those parents are very wealthy, they don't have a house right now. So what I'm trying to say is, use the anxiety about the world being absolutely insanely fucked up at the moment to be a guiding force for yourself to literally do what you want to do, to understand that there's nothing that you're doing that is necessarily wrong, or nothing that you're doing though that is necessarily right. There is no limitation by how you can tackle life, because there is no one specific rule which is better than the others. And that, at least for me, maybe it's not going to work for other people, at least for me, helps me, even in capitalism, live it better than even capitalists by being a communist. It's freeing. It can be freeing as much as it is limiting. Just about perspective. Jordan Peterson out.
Rip.
I was just gonna say, a bunch of people, because they were asked a few questions and I answered in chat. They're like, "Is that actually Hakeem in chat?" Yes, it's actually me in chat. But yeah, what was I gonna say? Yeah, that's very true. When it comes to your own mental health, you have to realize that there are certain okay, not to go all materialism on you, but there are stressors that you have in your life. There is a material basis for why you feel the way you do sometimes, why you get anxiety and whatnot. And you can't just get over this through mindset changes or something. You have to physically change your situation. But also, that doesn't mean that you can't cut out the other mechanisms that help you cope with whatever situation you may be in. So for some people, that's like exercise. Other people, it's worship. Other people, it's hobbies, etc., whatever it may be. But also remember that, for example, if you're working 60 hours a week, of course, you're not going to be feeling very good, regardless of what you do on the side. Yeah. Sam K says, I would sell my body to hear Hakeem say Habibi. So here you go. Habibi.
Ooh, that was good. I like that.
Habibi Noor al-Ain. Sorry, I'm not going to sing I'm with you. I'm not going to do that. Maybe okay. How about this? If we reach 1,000 people watching, I'm gonna sing a miscellaneous patriotic Arab song. So get your.
I like that. Yeah.
And I'm
Get your
gonna
buddies to tune in
interrupt.
for that.
I'm gonna interrupt with clero-fascistic songs from one of the three Yugoslav nations, calling for the death of the other two. That's always fun.
There we go.
And don't ask me why I know all of them.
I absolutely hate that guy who looks exactly like me.
Which one? Which one?
No, I was just gonna say you Balkans. I mean, we Arabs. Yeah.
Okay. Because for a second I thought like maybe Rocky or the fucking Croat guy screaming, "Ah!" looks like you. So I was like, oh, okay. But no, got too excited too quickly.
Let's hit a couple more of these.
Go. Yeah, there's a massive backlog. Let's go through them.
Have
to
we
be
heard
respectful to the donors.
Have we heard of Not Just Bikes? Yes. I've interacted with him once or twice on Twitter. I think that would be a good fit. I've wanted to do a video on like urban planning for a while now, so that's a name that's come up. Not Just Bikes is someone to collab with. Also, City Beautiful is another one. So yeah, definitely on my radar. I don't know about you guys.
I am not aware
sure.
of it now.
Yeah.
Yes, I would love to find out more, but no idea. No.
Skimming more, you got more vodka money. You got Nick from the Paltism again. Thank you. Our boy's gonna float away. Yep. Do we have any plans on visiting the DPRK? I can't, as an American currently, at least. I would love to at some point. I think that would be fascinating. But yeah, as of right now, as far as I know, there's no way for me to do it. At least no, easy way that doesn't involve jumping through a bunch of hoops and joining a group that's supposed to go and do U.S. propaganda work.
I definitely will visit it one day, but I know it's because I also want to visit South Korea. And I really want to visit both so that I can have a kind of materially based way in order to criticize either by being someone who actually went there and fucking saw it, because I think we have far too many, more than enough of people talking about places they know very little about, very, very vocally.
Yeah.
But I think the problem is if you go to one, you can't go to the other. So I want, I'm waiting for some moment and some agreement that they sign between each other, which will not lead to that, because you literally cannot go to South Korea and then you will not be approved for North Korea, and vice versa. So when that drops, that's definitely when I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
I was thinking eventually, I mean, yani, who knows where this podcast will go, but inshallah it'll grow more. And we'll get the chance to meet up physically. And then we had a silly idea that's kind of a pipe dream right now, but hey, inshallah it will happen in the future, which is a deprogram on tour kind of idea where we go, like for example, we'll go to Cuba, us three, and then we'll do like Cuba related episodes. Maybe we'll include other stuff, maybe even video. We'll see. We'll see that if that can.
And
be
our
a thing.
HQ
And who
will
knows,
be in Chattanooga,
exactly. And
in
yeah, that's actually a thing.
Wisconsin. Two HQs.
Yeah, if we ever do a live episode, I would want it to be in one episode will be in Wisconsin, and one of them will be in Chattanooga.
Yes. Road trip.
Who knows? Inshallah. Yeah, exactly.
We'll just have to make sure you never drive,
but
Hakeem. If you get pulled over,
yeah, I'm
you're
gonna be
immediately shot.
Immediately. we're gonna have you, JT, in the front seat. I'm gonna be there looking as inconspicuous as possible.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. I'm gonna try to. I'm gonna undergo skin bleaching right before I go.
JT is like, you Gopnik, what the fuck are you doing? As I'm trying to pass $100 through the window to the cop, because I'm so used to it. What the fuck? Are you trying to bribe me, sir? And I'm like, yes. You're welcome, man. Enjoy your day. JT, why is he so fucking angry about it?
What kind of cop wouldn't accept $100? The cops here are just pathetic.
Yeah, honestly, it's the best part about living in a third world country. You can bribe your way into anything.
Yeah.
So,
exactly. Leading back to like what I said previously, like don't feel bad about it. Bribe motherfuckers, eat motherfuckers, fucking eat the world, because there's no. The ones that do follow the rules very strictly, they're the ones who get fucked. And if Marxism can teach you one thing about existence in capitalism, that's exactly it. But sorry, I'm just still stuck in the really trying to help people that do feel massive anxiety from understanding that the world is fucked up, because I felt it impact my life so immensely. But then exactly what I talked about previously, pushing it as a tool in order to make, as Hakeem very well said, to make my material life better, ended up quite literally changing my life. It's just getting in the fucking snowball effect. The second you get in it, it's very, very difficult to get out. I mean, that's how people get depression and shit. But yeah, let's keep it more positive. Next question.
People are like, sing. We're at 945. Okay, get us to 1,000. By the way, the thing that we said as an off comment in one of the episodes, where it's like, oh, if we get to 1,000 patrons, me and Yugopnik will duet Yugoslav turbo funk Civil War music. I'm not kidding about that. We are going to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, JT, go on.
We're going to book a recording studio and everything. That would be fun. We've got from Cosmic, greetings from Finland. Lost his shit on the subway when Hakeem, you were talking about your doctor's work experience in episode 18. They want more Hakeem doctor stories. I'm sure you'll get some, comrade. I'm sure you will. We hear it a lot. Will Family Guy exist in socialism? From Sage of Six Strings. No. Moving on.
Peter Griffin is a comrade. Sorry, go on.
No, it will be like those very cringe approaches to art from the Soviet Union, where for some reason everything had to be fucking about class.
Yeah.
Obviously that stopped in the 70s. But if we take Family Guy and how they do all the jokes about random niche or not so niche Hollywood celebrities, like Peter Griffin would sit next to Stewie and he would be like, how the bourgeoisie used to exploit us, and then a sketch about random boss A exploiting employee C. It would be even more cringe than it is now. Yeah. So yes, there you go. Very good argument against socialist revolution. So communist Family Guy, like that's literally a nightmare. That is nightmare fuel.
Yeah. Pass.
Hey, wasn't like Masha and the Bear like Soviet production? Like when it came to, like unironically to Soviet cartoons and shit like that, they actually were pretty decent,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
they're
yeah.
still ongoing. Many of them, yeah.
I've never
But
seen any.
there's one with the fucking I don't know with the mole. Yeah, it's very popular in the third world. I don't because America has its own indigenous production of cartoons and whatnot. That's now fucking exported everywhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, Masha and the Bear, for example, is fucking huge everywhere else in
Yeah.
the world.
But
So
now it turned into an extremely parasitic, fucking massive industry where they keep putting ads inside of Masha and the Bear
yeah,
cartoons to sell Masha or the Bear as toys to kids. Yeah, it's
yeah.
but no, it used to be no, it's still a decent cartoon for very very small kids. But as everything, it was marketized, as I like to say.
Mm.
Yeah.
It turned into a
Uh-huh.
tool to make more money, and the
Mhm.
passion was
So,
sucked right out.
Rip.
The way JT sucks out the cum from her sofa.
God. Oh my
It was
God,
just too good. Like the jokes put themselves in front of me.
I
I
knew
can't help
something
but
horrific was coming when you started laughing before you delivered the line, so I was not disappointed.
Mm.
We've got one, Hakeem, here for you.
Yeah.
That's
Habibi.
what would you say is the biggest cultural difference between your home country and how people are raised in other countries like the U.S.?
Oh geez. I don't know. Maybe family. Like
Yeah.
you should families considered more important. I guess. That's not even fully right. It depends. Like the United States, maybe. I don't know. Religious stuff, I guess, possibly. We season our food more than Americans do. Depending. I mean, white people. I mean, the other ethnicities of the United States are fairly diligent. I'm just teasing. That's a very difficult question, actually. Nothing comes to mind. I'm sorry, I didn't come with notes.
Yeah. Wait.
If I would have to say something, it's definitely like the relationship between family, particularly distant family. You probably have a good connection with your immediate family and maybe a few cousins. Meanwhile, most people know like their entire fucking tribe, basically.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy to me because my grandfather passed away recently, and just yesterday I saw for the first time in 15 years like a couple of cousins and aunts and uncles that I hadn't seen, and that long time. So it is definitely different here in the States. I guess, I mean, if I live in Texas and they live in Maryland or whatever, it's harder to get together. But yeah, it is. I do wish we had kind of more of that culture here in the States where family was, so important that you'd get together all the time because you've got that support network that's just built in with family. But alas, yeah, we don't really have that.
Atomization of individuals under capitalism.
Yeah, honestly.
Funny enough,
Basically.
that is exactly what happened to like the majority of my part of the world because we used to be a lot like what Hakim describes, but now I don't know. I cannot generalize it despite doing it, but I could say a very, very hefty chunk of families are just feuding, like internally. Like people used to hang out a lot, et cetera, but as the economic situation gets worse and worse, people start arguing about land, about inheritance, about petty, very, very material things that they now have to care about a lot, and they do not really know how to manage because God bless them, the socialists didn't really teach us how to deal with capitalism rightfully. So unfortunately, what at least I see in my family and what I see in most other people's families is that they do get together on a massive scale, but it's like half the family gets together with one head of the feuding tribe inside of the family, and the other one gets together with the other feuding section of the tribe. It's sad to see, but it's very common, and sometimes it's about the pettiest of fucking things. But that's where pride comes in, and that's a cultural thing as well. Even if it's like an acre of land, like people will not talk to each other for a month, not for a month, for 10 years, because it's not about the money; it's about the word, the heaviness of the word. I mean, in Eastern, no, sorry, in the Western Balkans and South Balkans, you have literally a tradition that is still alive in certain places where they fucking, you kill a cousin, and then like the second generation after like 70 years, you're like walking down the street and somebody comes and blows your brain out, and you're like, what the fuck? Why did you just kill him? And he's like, because in 1942 you killed our family's cousin. It's you
Wow.
remember shit, but no, that's very dead. Like that's and I don't know, maybe 5% of the population. But yeah,
We've got
feuding is a big fucking thing.
We've got a donation from Vlad Slavsky here, who sees the vodka donations and must counteract with more hangover help donations. Much appreciated. We will keep our Ugopnik nice and sober.
Like you, JT, are much better. But actually, like from CVS again, I think we might have missed it. And just to support Hakeem, they gave 50 MADs. I don't know what that is, but T Fund and also Save the Animals. GDQ. I don't know what GDQ is. Absolutely
Games
Save
Done
the
Quick.
Animals. But what again?
It's Games Done Quick. It's what's it called? Speedrunning thing, I believe.
Oh yeah.
If somebody could correct me on that.
Oh yeah. Oh wow. Oh Jesus. I'm slow.
Oh wow! I thought the chat had slowed down because I was way up with those questions, and I pulled it down a little bit, and I am so far behind. So if you guys take some of the questions, because
I'll be super quick. I'll like Machine Gun Kelly, but a cool one because Machine Gun Kelly is super cringe. Preston Gaber, thank you so much. I'm the white guy from 99% white rural Wisconsin. Feel free to keep using me as a reference. We fucking love you. No, seriously.
Yeah.
Wisconsin, thank you. You guys are the best. Like joke takers, is that the expression in
good
American?
Sports, yeah.
Honestly,
good
yeah.
sports.
Yeah,
like
good
seriously.
Sports, really, yeah.
So many people texted like, "Oh, I'm from Wisconsin." It felt super weird that you're mentioning my state all of a sudden. But good sports, really good sports. Zoe or Zo, fucking German, man, fucking Germans. We forgave them too quickly. Zo or Zoe Hammer. No, Zoe Hammer. Thoughts on Sophie's awful conspiracy video? I have no idea what that is.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not familiar with
Hakeem?
Sophie.
I have never heard of this. I'm sorry.
Huh? We're out of the loop.
We're really sorry. Yeah. Well, finally something that we're out of the loop on.
We're used to knowing everything, so.
Exactly. Yeah. Neil Wilson donated without saying anything. Thank you. Wait, let me go down. Andrew Murray, new fun to send Hakeem and his parents on Hajj.
Aww.
Feel free to join, comrades. Oh,
thank you, Habibi. That's very nice
cool.
of you.
That is very
that
cool.
is something I'm
By the way,
saving for. But
what happens with the? I think it will be interesting for our viewers. First, you can give like a quick introduction of what the Hajj is, but like in Saudi Arabia, where one is Mecca, right, or Medina. I'm sorry, I am. Like a lot of people die from like being stomped on. What the fuck is that about?
Yeah, all right. So just so people know, the Hajj is the pilgrimage that you make to Mecca. It is a city in Saudi Arabia, or Arabia. I mean, the Saudis just temporarily own that land right now. But yeah, it's one of the 5 pillars of Islam. Exactly right. One of the 5 pillars. So the pillars include your testimony of faith, your prayer, your fasting, your zakat, which is basically like a income tax of sorts that you basically pay out to the poor and needy and to family and stuff like that, and Hajj, which is the pilgrimage that you go on. Of course, it's the largest human pilgrimage ever, and it happens every year. And lots of people are there, of course, to the tune of millions of people nowadays. Especially because
instill that in the mind of like a Western, actually no, from anywhere in the world, millions of people in a single spot. Like guys, you've been to a concert, probably, listener. There's like 50,000 people, and that's like insane. Millions.
It's
Holy
it's
fuck.
it's It's a really beautiful thing, yeah. But sometimes, of course, what happens, like it doesn't happen much, but on occasion when it happens, that's a major. Like it's sad that it does. Like there's gonna be some guy who is just minding his own business, and he's just like laying down, and then there's pilgrims who walk by. They don't notice the guy, or the guy doesn't, get out of the way, and they kind of walk, and sometimes they walk over the guy, and then he gets stampeded. It's a very shitty thing. It happens on occasion. And it's not the fault of the pilgrimage; it's the fault of a Saudi organization because they're kind of trying to turn it into a business almost, like
Yeah.
with all the hotels they built and stuff like that. For all of Islamic history, the people, like the Kaaba, the the big cube-looking thing, that we don't worship. By the way, it's something we circumambulate. It's a house of God that was built by Abraham. um, the houses of people who lived in Mecca were just a couple of like meters away from the Kaaba. That's how it was for the longest time in Islamic history. And only when the Saudis came to power did they basically like bulldoze the entire area. They destroyed many sacred sites, and they kind of used it as a money making thing for themselves. And I don't know. On some occasions it's been a little better. Some occasions it's been a bit worse. But I personally think that it would be better if it wasn't in the hands of the Saudis.
Mm.
Personally. Um, but yeah, that's a much more deeper political conversation for another point.
Yeah, it would be a very long
Sure.
conversation. I imagine, even though I've never engaged in it up until literally now. But it's interesting
Yeah.
how Muslims do not have, correct me, I might be wrong,
Mm,
but like you're more, your your systems are of your systems of organization, apologies, are much
mm,
closer, much more similar to, for example, the way Orthodox Christians like
mm,
myself organize, and not necessarily like Catholics with the Pope and there being like one spot that is like the big boss of all Muslims, in the case big
yeah,
boss of all Catholics, but
mm,
it's regional, right? Because in
yeah,
Orthodox Christianity you have patriarchies that exist in different places of the Orthodox world where they are the big bosses, right?
yeah. Exactly right. But in with Islam, there is no pope figure. There's no one individual. We
Yeah.
don't have a. It's a fairly horizontal religion. There's no hierarchy within it. The only the An imam is literally just a leader of a prayer, and anybody can lead a prayer,
Mm.
so long as you're baligh, like you're not insane, and you are qualified to, like, how to recite the Quran, which is the vast majority of Muslims on the earth are that. So it's
Yeah.
not an issue. But
Yep.
yeah, it's a thing. It's just a, like, yeah, political thing. What can we do?
Yeah. In my religious education, we were taught that the patriarchs, which are the local, national representatives of the faith, the idea is
Mm,
that they have proven themselves to the faithful as the wisest interpreters of the word of
mm,
God in the local territory. And I genuinely think it worked for a long time, especially under the Ottoman Empire, etc. So we're not gonna, sorry, guys listening, we're just engaging in
mm,
extremely niche conversation.
Yeah.
But I guess,
mm,
yeah, but like that used to be like the thing that put them in their positions, which is, in my opinion, extremely beautiful. But nowadays it literally, now I'm criticizing the Orthodox gangsters in chat and worldwide. It turned into a very rigid system of whatever the main political party is in a given Eastern European Orthodox majority country. They kind of instill their own patriarch because they can define just how much money ends up going to the church, even though it's
mm,
delinked from the state. But is it really, when you look into it? Sorry that I'm talking about this. I just feel it on a very personal level because the patriarchal system, in my opinion, was very good as a form of organizing, much better than the papal one. But it ended up, ironically, being much more prone to corruption than the papist one. Because at least in the
mm,
papist one, you have, like, you either have a corrupt pope or you don't.
mm,
But with so many patriarchs everywhere, uh, they're not linked to anything, so there's a bigger chance that they're going to be servants of whatever local big boss there is, who's gonna give the church cash, which it definitely needs in order to receive favors in return. And we see that especially in the Russian Federation, where the church is literally just directly linked with the main party. And so that people don't tell me I'm only criticizing Russia, we also see that in Ukraine, where up until the war and before that, it was literally instrumentalized in order to create a bigger nationalist identity of Ukrainians versus Russians by stating that they now need their own patriarchy. Okay, extremely niche conversation over. Let's continue. So.
That was fascinating. I had nothing to add to that.
Well, I'm glad. I hope some people learned something interesting or weren't too bored by that.
Yeah, I've been watching the chat.
Yeah.
People are just dunking on me for my fast food takes.
Yeah.
To
I mean, it's
answer
okay.
some of those questions, I have never been to Popeyes. I've never been to Sheetz. I don't know what that is. Favorite sauce from McDonald's is barbecue. I prefer McDonald's fries over the waffle fries.
Barbecue sauce. Oh Lord.
You don't like barbecue sauce?
No.
God. Okay, well, have you had American Southern barbecue sauce?
Yeah.
Probably not. Probably not. You will show me.
Yeah, there are different kinds. There's like, you can get a good Texas barbecue, like a brisket. But there's also like more vinegar-based barbecue sauce in some parts of the United States, which is also interesting. I think I prefer the more Texas-style barbecue, but I'm all for a diversity of barbecue sauces. I'm desecrating American culture. Thanks, chat.
I mean, you know what the Iranians said? It's like, even if we were to attack them, what cultural sites do we have to destroy? We can't bomb Spider-Man and SpongeBob. I'm like, fuck, that's like, okay, when something is so painfully true, you can't hate them.
Yeah, that's true.
I was gonna say, the only barbecue sauce, American barbecue sauce that I know is the one that, what's his name, Mark Zuckerberg was like, oh, the Sweet Baby Ray's.
Oh yeah,
is it called Sweet Baby Ray's?
It is. And Sweet Baby Ray's is actually like, it's a well-respected barbecue sauce. So I'm sure he's like, okay, someone find me some barbecue sauce that people know, and that's what his poor assistant had to go do. That guy's a freak. People are saying Whataburger. Yes, I like Whataburger. There's one just down the road from me.
What is a Whataburger?
It's a Texas staple. It's a fast food place. It's like McDonald's but more expensive and a little bit better.
Thank you, Hakeem, for like calling it out. Us talking about two of the world's largest religions, or some of the world's largest religions. Oh, that's very niche. That's very niche.
Yeah.
That's too complex. But like different sub-brands of barbecue
Regional fast
sauce.
food.
Like that's not niche. Everyone will enjoy that. I'm fucking around. No, it's actually it's unironically fascinating. Like unironically. Please continue. I would love to learn more about American culture. Yes.
No, that's about it. We do have, so Whataburger is, it's like fancy McDonald's. You can get, what do they call it? They have like a patty melt, which is like basically a grilled cheese with a burger in the middle, and onion, like chopped onions and stuff like that, which is pretty good. But you guys would be probably appalled at the size of the sodas we get here, like the cups. Like, if you want a medium,
like 1.5 liter and shit.
Yeah, they're big. They're real big. And you get, of course, free refills and stuff. You've got the fountain like right out in the open where you can finish your drink, get up, get yourself another one, sit back down, have your second burger. Yeah, it's not healthy. People are saying Burger King. Yes, I do like Burger King. The only thing I get at Burger King is the chicken fries, though. Like the rest is like, it's all right.
Chicken fries? I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, chicken fries. So remember how I was explaining to you what a chicken tender is, right? So it's like
this was pre-live.
Pre going live.
I was explaining what a chicken tender
I was educating Hakeem on American theory, which is chicken tenders. And so a chicken fry.
And mind you, they're doing that while like nothing is set up in the podcast, and I'm sitting on the side listening to JT of like, okay, so chicken tender is this thing, and chicken fry is this thing, and I'm like, guys, like we have not set up anything, and then we set it up. Apologies, like it's just a nice little allegory. Please continue, my love.
Chicken fries is an abomination. It's like it's like if you take a thick fry, but just make it out of chicken and bread. Yeah, it's just like, it's a chicken tender, but very skinny and breaded. So it's I don't know, easier to eat. It's just a novelty that only Burger King seems to do. And for a while, it was like a limited time only thing, so you'd have to rush to get your chicken fries from Burger King. But now it's a staple on the menu, so I can go whenever I want.
Oh boy.
Burger King
What a
really fucked
world
up in
you.
my part of the world because McDonald's came in and they were like different policy than over there. Eastern Europeans always dreamt about McDonald's while they were living under the evil communists. So let's make McDonald's a relatively fancy thing, and it worked so fucking well. Like fucking S classes and BMW 7s and G classes parked outside of McDonald's. Not anymore, but up until recently. Well, Burger King, you know what they did? They just were like, we're gonna be the same as Burger King in the US. And nobody fucking likes that here because they're like they don't like the food itself. It's about getting an Instagram story that you went to McDonald's, at least for like lower socioeconomic classes. So Burger King really fucked up in Eastern Europe, at least in my opinion. Like nobody eats that shit. Today I was at like a food court. I don't know if there's many food courts over where you're at, Hakim. Hopefully not.
Sorry to
But
interrupt.
but
Sorry to
yeah.
interrupt. Just one thing. Today I was fasting and I still have not broken my fast. So I'm just gonna go and get something real quick and I'll come back.
Go,
It's all
go,
the
go.
food talk.
Exactly. And I told this motherfucker even before the fucking stream, like, go fucking eat. But he was like,
Okay,
no,
I'll
I
be back in just
fast.
a minute.
I fast all the time. I don't have to eat right now. It's not even a big change for me. And I was like, okay, you flexing on me, then go. But yes, Burger King versus
All right,
McDonald's,
what's it?
they have basically the same or similar offering of menus, but now I'm selling my job. But like, there you go. What marketing can do for a brand is sometimes very important, unironically.
Keep talking. I'm chewing fries.
Which, the chicken fries or the normal fries of human meat fries?
The normal
like,
fries from Chick-fil-A. They're very cold at this point, but that's the one thing about
Freedom fries.
Yeah,
remember that?
That's the one thing about Chick-fil-A fries. They are they're waffle fries for people who don't know, which is it looks it's a fry that looks like a waffle kind of with holes poked out of it, and it's got a lot of surface area, so it gets cold much more quickly than some other fries. So that's Chick-fil-A is great, but man, their fry game is pretty weak in my opinion. I might get canceled for that.
I love how even with fries, you guys go into deep statistics. Like when you watch a football match, real football over here in good old in the old continent, like the people reading out what's going on the pitch are actually passionate about the teams. They're like, oh, this guy was hurt, but now he's kicking ass. They're talking about it emotionally. But I had many times when with some of my friends, which are fans of the NFL, we turn on the NFL when it's playing, and you guys' commentators are all about, oh, Michael C has a 94% touchdown rate, a 32 per mile run rate, and he is known for having statistically done 43.2% of the 22nd minute of rundown, touchdown, sport ball, words. And like, it's all just, they're sitting there and reading out statistics while like, if you listen to, like, I don't know, an Eastern European commentator and there's a goal and he's like, oh, Miloš, the destroyer of worlds, the king of kings, the destruction on the pitch was now seen. His ancestors shall be proud. Shit like that. It's very different. But I'm not knocking one or the other. It just feels too professional. Certain things you shouldn't be that professional about.
Agreed.
To read out some of the donos, Bolshevik apologist. I do not like that name because there's nothing to apologize. Okay, I'm kidding. Or am I? But yes, do you think that communism in Eastern Europe is a possibility in the near future? I talked about this plenty of times, TLDR. Unfortunately, this part of the world might be the least likely because for the last 30 years, there's been investments and propaganda here unlike anywhere else on the planet. It was like a speed run of the Cold War to make everyone think that what happened before is the biggest nightmare of all time. So we are literally some of the most propagandized people on planet Earth when it comes to not liking the idea of communism, anarchism, even fucking social democracy to a point. David Harabagyu with 25 runs says, Hakeem, can I be your wife?
I'm sorry. This is Hakeem Breaking Fast ASMR. I'm eating dates. I'm sorry. Give me a second. um,
Can he be your wife or they
yes.
or her? I don't know.
Um, I would have to meet
Are
you
you looking
first,
for
but yeah, sure, why
wives?
not?
He's thinking
By
about
the
it.
way,
Um,
okay. So chat, listen.
yeah, I
Hakeem,
am. Yes, actually.
very attractive, a doctor, stable profession, even more stable profession, podcaster. Not so stable, could be shot, communist. Okay, so that's the minus, right? Probably
No,
extremely
actually,
attractive. You can hear it in his
okay.
voice that the penis is
Yeah, dude.
definitely over 16 centimeters in length, and he is single. So
Mm.
I am going to be his auntie, trying to find, and together with JT, of course, trying
Mm.
to find him a good waifu. One
Mm.
thing I know about
Um,
our boy is that he doesn't ask for much, but one thing he would really appreciate is a doctor lady who can understand him when he has late hours and when he's stressed, etc., etc. So, if there's any communist doctor lady in live right now or listening to this post recording, please reach out to Auntie Ugopnik or Auntie JT, and we will link you up.
okay,
That is all.
enough, Kathy. I get enough, dude. I get enough. I get enough fucking proposals. It's fine. The auntie proposals. I get enough of those. Yeah, no. Like unironically, I am kind of in the mindset to look, but my work schedule really doesn't allow me. I think it would be unfair to a potential partner if like to be with them and all that. Meanwhile, I work such insane hours. So I'm
Excuses,
trying to kind of
excuses.
change my clinical like I need to finish my fucking residency so then I can start a specialization program and get better hours so then I can start looking more seriously, blah blah blah. Yeah, everything comes in stages in life, but who knows. Yes. So TLDR, yes, you can be my wife.
Yeah, there we go.
There you go. There you go.
Ugopnik, you got a question from our lovely, helpful moderator, Yugoslav Minecraft Steve. They say,
That name.
how do
Yeah.
we combat nationalism and reactionary politics in the Balkans/Eastern Europe?
I mean, that's like it is a big pie to chew off. Okay, very quick. A few things. Remind them that it's been 30 years since the fall of Yugoslavia. I would even argue up to 40, because after Tito died, we weren't really doing much socialism. But remind them that it's been 30 years and that every excuse that the politician is giving them on why the situation sucks right now, being the fault of communists that came before, doesn't really work when 3 decades plus have passed of active capitalism, one would say in the 90s, even the purest free market version of it. So that argument could tell them, yo, maybe, this fucking nationalism slash capitalism thing we're trying out, it's not really showing any sort of results. That can get the ball rolling. And then after that, you introduce them to counter arguments to some of the most cliche anti-socialist, anti-Yugoslav arguments that they've probably heard, like the size of the debt, which, for example, all of Yugoslavia's debt is half of that of Croatia itself, which is a 3 million people country, versus Yugoslavia, which was 30 million. And countering those sorts of arguments. And then finally, playing on the emotional shit that even people with semi-nationalistic beliefs kind of are suckers for. Everybody with half a brain is a sucker for, me included, which is the internationalist realist, or materialist, and better said, argument, which says you might love Serbia, you might love Croatia, you might love Bosnia, you might love Kosovo, you might love Macedonia as its own separate entities and own separate cultures. But don't you understand that without a larger body which unifies these individual ethnicities, we will always be at the bottom of every boot that wants to trample through this part of the world? And the only way for us to actually rise from being the underdogs is by us creating a unified nation. So that plays on their pride, their patriotism, their nationalism, and also tells them what they can actually proactively do about it. And then the last one is, because most people that are anti-Yugoslav like to use the anti internationalist argument, which is, but this internationalist project doesn't work because the nationalities are too different. Well, Germany is literally a younger country than the United fucking States of America, and it's three different tribes that are relatively similar and relatively different uniting in one. Italy, the Italian state is like fucking 70 different mini states, from Venice to Nizza to everything, being united into one state. Are they massacring each other because of small insignificant differences, the way Serbs and Croats and Bosnians and fucking, I don't know, Croats are doing? No, they're not. So yes, this project is absolutely possible, and with socialism it's even easier to establish. Yes. So yeah, that's it. I don't think I will ever reply to this question ever again. It's a great question. But I feel like I've replied to it like 7 quadrillion times.
Beautiful
By
answer, though. Absolutely.
Thank you, Andrew Murray. Just again, thank you so much for so many donos. Wrote money. I guess he ran out of a reason to do it, or he's on his 12th vodka. Emma came in with "Save the Animals" is a Super Metroid reference. I never played I never played Metroid. Is she right? Is Emma right, or is she
I,
bullshitting us?
I have I have no idea. It sounds right. I'm sorry. I never played it either. I just know that the meme that in the end they find out it's a woman, and that
JT
was
probably played
apparently a big deal.
Metroid.
No, I never did actually. I'm pretty basic when it comes to video games. I'll play like the Battlefields, except the most recent one. I played that for a while and bailed because it was so disappointing. Pokemon, Smash, and now Elden Ring, and that's about it.
Dude, you're playing fucking Ataris. That's not basic. Orion came in with $50 and just wrote, "You're amazing," with a very cute. Is that that should be a samurai doggo screaming, "You're amazing," in a sticker. I love the kids nowadays. Red Ape with 5 Canadian says, "Questions for everyone, but JT might know more specifically as an American. Thoughts on the meme stock movement, GameStop and AMC and the stock market?" Yeah, that one's fun.
Yeah.
I mean, is it really a movement?
No, I wouldn't say so.
It was for 2 weeks.
Yeah. Like
Yeah,
it was a
exactly.
cool like one-off event that was fun to watch as like,
Yeah.
you know, the big institutional investors got kind of screwed by a bunch of people on Reddit. So it was definitely fun to watch, but like a lot of things here in the States, there's no organizing behind it. So it was a spontaneous event that was cool, and it shows what could happen if there was more a more central plan behind this kind of event. It could be longer lasting, could be more sustained, could actually break some of the stranglehold that like institutional investors have on stuff like that. Definitely a lot of fun to watch. It gave us some good memes for a couple of weeks. But I wouldn't really say it's a movement.
Yeah. Exactly.
Absolutely.
Somebody said to come get these hands and Smash. Oh, you're gonna lose at Smash. Anyway, go back and continue.
I think we have quite a backlog. Can we just like plow through them just so we can?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying, but the chat is bugging like fucking crazy. Wait.
Yeah, it's bugging for me too. That's why.
So we have Igor with Hugo. What's your opinion on Poland? Polish people, incredible. Polish government, the tumor of the planet. Literally the worst, fucking the cringiest, horror. Very, 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 very bad state. Worse, because the Hungarians have an excuse. You know, Hungarians are like, oh, we're this weird thing. We're literally the least white Europeans. That's why we're gonna be super like white pride. Like the just when you have a tiny peepee, so you hate women, that type of shit. So but much love, I know so many Ukrainians that are amazing. But yes, Hungarian government at least has an excuse. Poland is literally a cesspool of potential reactionary sentiment. I mean, I really salute them for the treatment, for example, of Ukrainian refugees, but it is at the same time kind of cringe because they are the number one state that was in Europe that was against Middle Eastern refugees, and now they are literally the most incredibly humanitarian, accepting, like they're giving them money, they're finding them apartments, they're like genuinely helping out Ukrainians. So basically they have the capability and the logistics of helping out so many people, and I urge all Polish people to just expand that uh, ability to be welcoming hosts, not
Yeah.
just to those, because you do not have to fear a Muslim coming to your country and doing something bad, because guess what, Poland didn't do shit to Muslim countries. So I'm doing a nationalist argument at a nationalist for
Mm.
anybody missing out.
Not only this,
So
but Poland has a Muslim indigenous minority, the Polish Tatars,
Hmm.
yeah,
for
yeah,
example.
yeah.
So,
But I'll tell you, but
so
I know I have so many fucking Polish right wing friends, but they'll tell you, oh no, we don't have anything against Muslims. Them, for example, and they immediately point in them. They are more, they're better than the average Pole. They're amazing. But the ones coming from over there, we can't bring them. It's the
yeah,
new liberal sort of
yeah,
racism.
yeah,
We can't
yeah, exactly.
the way France does it. We can't allow Middle Eastern people here because they're gonna kill our gays. It's that type of
Mm.
shit. It's a spin on it.
The far right movements they've been spurring have been doing a good job of that already.
Hmm.
Fucking like
Exactly,
it's such a
fucking disgusting.
stupid, like, yeah. It's like, yeah, you'll bring out the LGBT community to like support, like, as a shield for you to as or justification for your bullshit policies, but when it actually comes to defending them, you don't actually do it. You don't care.
You don't
It's
do
such a
anything.
opportunistic fucking nonsense. Yeah.
Yeah, like the
Yeah.
Nazis in World War II, like as a primary example,
Mm.
they fight for the Nordic genome of the Aryan descendants.
Mm.
But when they go to a
Yeah.
country where they need allies, all of a sudden
Mm.
they're fighting for their rights against communist oppressors or another
Yeah.
nationality or ethnicity that's going to kill them. And then the idiots bite on the local. But yes, Ver W, thank you so much for that very large donation. Thank you for what you do. You have confirmed my hope in people, made me laugh hard at all your jokes in both the
Oh,
program and in your own YouTube channels. Raise a glass to you three, and Prost, my friend. God bless
thank you, Heavy. That was very
you,
sweet.
and thank you for the kind words. And I just had a drink in your name. Raven G, either G like a motherfucking G, or hitting the G class, driving the G class, or hitting the G spot on the regular. Can we get a pool going for when Kissinger dies? Oh, ho, ho.
Oh yes, yes.
Yeah, I like
Oh
that.
man, I'm gonna take a day off work when that happens.
Take a day off for that. Take a day off for the Queen. Yeah.
Yeah, fuck. Dumb.
with
I can't
with
wait.
I don't even want to say her name that died last week.
Hmm.
Mm.
I know that
Oh,
the Lord above
alhamdulillah.
is judging me for finding incredible pleasure in that, but I
Mm.
found incredible pleasure in that. Uh,
God.
and the world is sometimes like a fucking movie script. Like I'm pretty
Mm.
sure I'm not gonna spoil it. I think we can have a whole episode on her, so I'm not gonna talk
Mm.
anything. But that woman's life, and then who she decided to destroy afterwards,
Yeah.
it's so ironic. It's
Mm. Liberalism is a disease. That's
Mm.
basically what it is.
Yeah.
absolutely to continue towards you guys. Again, very beautiful. Okay, I'm gonna stop measuring the donation sizes, but thank you, Bar Kitty 74. I'm all the way from Alaska, but what are your thoughts
Mm.
on Alaska Native Liberation and ANCSA? I'm not sure what the ANCSA is, but all for native liberation, absolutely wherever it might be, including in Alaska. I know plenty of people who've been to Alaska, and they say you have some of the most beautiful nature in the world, and it's such an interesting place, which like was in the Russian Empire, then in the United States, and then before that had so many different civilizations spring up in a place which it's difficult to live in today, let alone back then.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Alaska
yeah,
is
exactly.
absolutely
One
gorgeous.
one place of I was just gonna say, I think you're just gonna mention it right now, JT. One place I would love to visit in the U.S. is Anchorage in
Mhm.
Alaska. Actually, the nature looks fantastic. It looks like yeah, especially in the summer when it's a bit warmer. I bet it's beautiful.
Yeah, yeah, I've been to Alaska a couple times and Anchorage for about a
Yeah.
week, I think, for a documentary shoot.
Mm,
But I've also a few years ago I went to Utqiagvik before it was called Utqiagvik. It was called Barrow. So I went
mm,
there, and that was a fascinating, really cool experience. It was frigid, but really striking scenery. Just it's above the Arctic Circle. They've got
mm,
like polar bear warning signs and stuff like that. Really, really cool. Got to speak to
mm,
one of the local leaders. So yeah, I'm fascinated with
mm,
the whole the solution to how the indigenous Americans have been treated, and I don't know exactly what the answer is, but that's something the U.S. really needs to reckon with, because it is one of the greatest crimes, probably the greatest crime in this country's history. So that's a conversation we need to have for sure, and we need to make sure that
yeah.
it's not just white people like me and Twitter commentators talking about it. We need to actually bring in the indigenous leaders
Bravo,
who
yes.
are familiar with the situation in ways that we can't quite grasp.
Yeah. Victor?
Beautifully put. For a white boy, you're really good. I'm fine.
I'll take it.
Uh, Again, the Bolshevik approver, not apologist. If we could convert 1% of Balkan nationalism into energy, the earth would implode. Yes. Yes
Hmm.
and
Would be
no.
power.
A lot
It
of the
would be a renewable
nationalism
resource.
is insanely larpy, dude. You will
Yeah.
find that people around like my parts of the world are some of the most socially progressive motherfuckers ever. They just
Mm,
feel like it's the right edgy fucking thing to talk about. But then you put an actual Croat and a Serb, or a Serb and I don't know, a dude from Ghana, and they will interact like Steve and Marco. Like they would
mm,
interact like two persons. Because the
mm,
Serbs give a fuck that this dude is from Ghana, and hopefully the guy from Ghana is gonna give a fuck that this guy's a Serb. But then the second you introduce talking about history or talking about anything of that sort, it gets fired up and it gets shitty.
mm.
All I'm saying is we uh, we get a bad what the fuck is the term again, American term, bad, not vibe, bad rep. Yeah, bad rep.
Mm.
And from Futakuchi Mana, greetings from Japan, my comrades with 1000 yen. Thank you so much, Futakuchi.
Yes,
uh,
thank you very much.
I did not think we would ever have comrades even from Japan listening to us, but
Mm.
I guess time zones
Mm,
are a crazy thing. And actually running, interrupt me if I'm wrong, but the only truly internationalist fucking not even political podcast I have not heard
mm,
about. Like, we respectfully, this one motherfucker is in Texas, this other motherfucker
mm.
is in the Balkans, and this other motherfucker is in motherfucking Iraq. You know how difficult this is to logistically organize on a weekly
Yeah,
basis?
Mm.
it's
It's
actually
so
pretty
cool. Like,
nasty.
I'm I'm patting ourselves on the back right now in front of
Mm,
our listeners, and I'm sorry for
mm,
sounding cocky, but like, this is so cool that we get to
mm,
do this, and we wouldn't be able to do this without you guys' support,
mm,
your
Yeah.
views, your Patreons, you
mm.
guys sharing this shit. It genuinely would be impossible, and it is
Yeah,
such a unique fucking thing that hopefully helps people who are so fucking tired of hearing guy from Boston number 77 tell them about what they should do in their part of the world. those types of people to actually being pushed towards
Mm.
communism, anarchism, whatever the fuck, as long as it's
Cool.
anti-capitalist, in my opinion.
Yeah. HH
Uh,
says, Hakeem, you gotta sing for us. I don't see 1,000 people watching.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be a stickler for the rules on that.
For people who are tuning in recently, Hakeem has promised that at 1,000 concurrent viewers of this stream, they will do a little performance for us. Or you got Nick, you were a part of that, right? You wanna
I have no idea. He dragged me in, bro. Like,
I can do it. I was my offer was I'm gonna sing miscellaneous old Arab patriotic songs
hell yeah.
for the meme. But yeah, very nice. Actually, what's very interesting about the Japanese point is, I didn't know we had listeners from Japan, but um, I believe Japan has the largest non-ruling communist party.
Yeah.
In the world, or if not that, then they still have a very large communist party, which is very interesting. Of course, the actual like policies of it's kind of sketchy. They're a bit they're a bit sock-demi, but otherwise, still very interesting to note.
Yeah, that's not one you typically think much about, is you don't associate Japan with communism all that much, but sure enough, and they've got a bunch of cute little characters to represent some of their stuff. It's fun,
Yeah.
Regardless of how effective or actually left the policies are. I think it's a cute rebranding of or an update of how to repackage communism for a modern audience.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, do we have any more super chats that we need to read out?
it's really buggy, the fucking live thing. I'm trying to locate. Wait, okay, I have some.
Isn't there a
Incredible
list in
donation from. Yeah. What?
Yeah, sorry, go on. I remember there was like a list in the live thing. You can kind of go in the tab and then you see a list of all the super chats. But I remember they disappear after a while too. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, it's buggy. Christopher Rush, thank you for that insane fucking donation. A very important question: what type of fruit do you like best of
Ooh.
all? Also, good job. That is a very controversial question. I myself like eating ass. That's my favorite fruit.
That doesn't count.
But other than that,
What coincidence.
unironically, like I'm very weird. I like grapes, but the genetically modified ones that don't have the bones in them. Like unironically, like that's the best thing ever.
A boneless
Deboned
grape.
grapes.
Yeah.
Yo, boneless grapes, dude. Like literally, like my personality. I'm a boneless grape. Okay, but not that shit is amazing. Like that is amazing because you can eat like 5 kilos.
Yeah.
I-
You guys favorite fruits?
I'm gonna steal Hakeem's and say mango, probably.
Fuck.
You're like my girlfriend. What the fuck?
Mango
I brought a mango
they
back from
slap.
Miami, man. I
Yeah.
brought a mango from Miami. That thing almost caught on fire in the box.
Oh my God.
Habibi. Mangoes, specifically the subcontinent mangoes. I'm talking about Indian and Pakistani mangoes. Nothing slaps harder. Nothing tastes better. Nothing is fuck.
But it's
They're
weird.
amazing.
But this
Dude,
weird.
it's so good. Dude, I eat it like a fucking animal over the sink. I peel it with my hands because the skin is so soft on them, right? And I just sit there fucking munching away. Dude, I deep throat the fucking the core. It is the best fucking shit. Mangoes are amazing. But yeah, okay, since you took mine,
Do you
I
guys
guess I
eat
have to-
plums? Do you guys eat
Oh
plums?
yeah, plum slap.
Plums are fucking sick. And
I
plum
like
rakia
dried as well.
is like the best. Like that's the best
Mm.
rakia. Like oh my fucking god, tastes like distilled Jesus juice.
But other than that, figs. Fuck yeah. Okay, you know what, I'm gonna figs are. Do you? Of course, no. The U.S. grows figs. The U.S. grows fucking everything, right?
Yeah, I've never had just a fig, the fruit. We have
Really?
Yeah, we have fig Newtons, which are like little pastries with fig
Of
filling,
course.
which are pretty tasty.
That's not fucking real.
I know.
I bet. I will bet you that's not even 12% fucking fig.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. I've never had one.
Like the figs that we get in Iraq, especially the purple figs. White figs taste nice too, but purple ones are my favorite. And they're like the size of a small apple. They're so sweet and so soft and nice. Fuck. Oh my god.
They're
Hmm.
Oh
very
no, now I'm in the mood
expensive
for
here,
figs.
though. Their figs are
Yeah.
like ridiculously expensive here, almost as much as avocados. Like it's like and mango is
Really?
super. Yeah, and you can't even get good mango. Yeah, we're a different climate,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it
that's true.
takes a
I didn't
while
know that.
to import.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I didn't know that figs didn't grow where you're at. Okay. But yeah, no. For example, here we have figs grow fucking everywhere. Figs are amazing. And they're very cheap. And then somebody related wrote, "Oh, thoughts on dates. Dates are also amazing. I'm Iraqi. It's in my blood." So yeah.
Dates are good.
And by the
Yeah.
way, there's over like I think 200 types of dates or something. So
Wow.
yeah. But it's beyond contention. Dates are the best dates on earth. This is beyond. Like you cannot
So,
argue that. They call us Algosoa for a reason, okay? I mean, that's the soil, but I mean, yeah.
but like a
So, yeah.
question not as serious as much more lighthearted than talking about favorite fruits is Hakeem, in addition to my question about Iran, I also wanted to ask what are your thoughts on euthanasia and physician assisted suicide? So,
Okay, that's
a
that's
bit
okay.
more more chill than the other one. We
I'll give it
sorry,
to
but you go answer. I always I don't know why I read euthanasia as youth in Asia. So it's like, what is your thought on youth in Asia? I'm like, they're young and they're
Yeah.
Asian. That's like a great combination. Oh, but yes, please go on, Hakim. Actually,
I
I
can give
never,
it.
I don't know what you're gonna answer. Actually, this
Yeah.
is gonna be interesting.
I can give it. I can give it TLDR basically. All right. Every country has different perspective on ethics, and the laws are different everywhere. My personal perspective is, um, I am like, let's say 80% against the 20% for it. And what does that really mean? That means I think it should be reserved for only the most extreme of cases where the person is maybe in palliative care and like it's a done deal, it's terminal for them, and there's like nothing that they can do. And this is given that they are of sound mind, that they have been given extensive informed, like we've received informed consent, and that they completely understand what they're talking about, or what that entails. And I think it should also be like approved by several physicians who will look over the case and think that it is indeed okay. Um, uh, I personally think it's the sort of thing that it's very serious. It's a person's life, and you gotta remember that even though the one person might want to end their life, you have responsibilities to their families as well. And that is a very shaky ground to walk on, both ethically, morally, and in general, like social relation. So the TLDR basically is as long as the person is highly informed and we have permission from their family and the case has been looked over by the appropriate specialists and they have approved, I think we can go ahead with it, given that it's a terminal case and they're in palliative care. Otherwise, I think if there's a potential to cure a person, then we should try that, or at least to reduce their symptoms. That's, I guess, a preliminary way of thinking about it.
Hmm.
You see, kids, knowing dialectics lets you not give yes and no answers to things, as you should not
Basically.
give yes and no answers to like most
Mm-hmm.
things, most
Mm-hmm.
questions that are directed at you, because that's exactly what it teaches us. There's so many fucking caveats to absolutely everything.
Mm-hmm.
And while your like spirit might be pushing you, no, it absolutely should happen because people are suffering and oh, it's their choice. But then you right now heard it from a physician. There's like 7,000 other factors. It's never that fucking simple, you know?
Mm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Of course, by the way, my opinion is not the right opinion. This is just my opinion. There are many different
Eh,
perspectives on this. So yeah.
Yeah, that's also again. I'm selling like every wise thing one says, one person says it's Marxism, but it kind of is. Like it literally is. A
Mm.
Marxist that tells you that he's 100% right about anything, arguably, is not even a Marxist because you cannot.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Pretty much.
because history changes, the world changes, material conditions change. Um,
Mm.
yeah,
These nuts
actually,
change.
now I have an opinion on youth in Asia because I genuinely did not.
Okay.
I was like, okay, I uh, have thankfully not interacted with someone in that horrific point in which
Mm.
arguably they should have the right to take their own life. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna give my opinion on shit I don't know. But now a physician told me a very good argument. I don't know, JT, what your opinion is.
Yeah,
I mean, you don't need to answer if you don't
Yeah,
feel
of
like
course
you
not.
want to.
Sorry if
no,
I
I've
pushed it.
I've been thinking about it. I don't really know because it's tough because if a person is in a hospital or something like that and they otherwise might be able to end their life if they weren't in that situation, if they had more motor control, for example. Obviously you don't want them to do that because they're probably suffering from depression or something like that, which is forcing them to. But if that person would have ended their life of their own accord outside a hospital setting, I think they also have the right to do it by asking for help in a hospital setting. So I'm not entirely sure. It's one of those tough ones where it's like, should they be able to do it? I mean, I don't want them to have to do it. I don't want them to feel like they need to, but at the end of the day, I don't want them to suffer needlessly either. So I don't know. I'm probably 50-50 on it.
It
To
gets
me,
very
my
complex. So,
it is very
sorry, go on.
complex.
JT.
No, my biggest fear in life is, for example, my mind to start failing me and for me to forget everything that ever happened in my life, literally. That is a far bigger fear than losing a leg or fucking arm or, God forbid, having like a terminal disease. Again, all disgustingly horrible things. But like my mind going, that is the most terrifying thing for me. And I have a very, we're going to jump into more positive shit, but I have a very fucked up story from one of my family friends, but TLDR, they had exactly that thing, but it was developing their problem with patterns of thought and with memory, more specifically. I do not remember what exact disease it was, but because it was not in late stages, not in early stages, but it was developing, and they were given an exact date by when, not an exact date, but an estimated date, but by when it's expected that they should receive caretakers, which are going to help the family because it's going to get very tough. And the grandpa knew up or down when that date is going to be. He had an assisted disease where his legs also were going out, so he couldn't move. So because he knew that his family is going to have to take care of him probably for like 10, 15 years because he's not going to die, but he's going to be in that situation. Motherfucker jumps out of his bed, crawls from third floor of their house to the first floor on his hands, to find his service rifle, goes outside on the lawn so that the family doesn't have to clean up, and blows his fucking brains out. Sorry for the audience, but that's life. That is life. That is extremely difficult decisions that certain people have to make. Obviously, I think suicide is 99.9% of the cases not an option. I think both JT and Hakim would agree. But I cannot sit here and judge this man. I cannot say that he did an act of cowardice. The dude had balls so fucking large that he went out in the yard to do this so that his wife doesn't have to clean the carpets. I mean, I don't know. It's certain things do not have a yes or no answer. Suicide or assisted suicide, likewise, that does not. But I know that this man lived in a country in which he could, without the knowledge of his loved ones, contact someone so that he can go out in a much less horrifying manner. If he had that option, he would have done that. He decided that he needs to do this. So if he had an option to do it in a different way, it could have been better. But yes, obviously an argument can be made here. When the option is there, then a lot more people are going to choose it much more spontaneously, etc., etc. But let's not make our viewers want to crawl out in the grass and blow their own dicks off. So Arfi came in. Hey guys, anything to say on the French elections? Also, what do you think about national liberation movements, like what's going on in Corsica? French elections, no comment because France is cringe. What's going on in Corsica?
Weak censor.
In the independence movements are very complicated to talk in self-determination from the
This is
perspective of
gonna be an
Marxism
entire like
is
episode of
Oh, yeah.
just. Can
entire
we not?
episode. Yeah, can we please?
Could we not?
It's.
Sorry.
Thank you so much for the
Like,
donation, but sorry for not replying. But
yeah.
it's as Hakeem said, like it's. It
We're
will
planning
literally
on
take 20
doing a
minutes,
proper episode on this eventually, but not just now, if it's okay.
and it
Yeah.
probably require 2-3 episodes, not one. Because
Yeah.
um,
All right, next.
Vlad Slavsky, the greatest name of all time. What is your opinion on the most effective revolution? Start with imperial core, start with global south, or both at once?
That's a big one
You
too.
guys
Both at
go.
once, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah,
But
but
even
most
that is
likely it'll be.
simplifying it. But yeah,
Yeah.
go.
Like, yeah, again, even most likely, if it were to take place, just like Lenin said, weakest links of capitalism. So it's mostly going to be imperial periphery first, and then that worsens living conditions within the imperial core, and then that's what begins revolutionary stirrings in the imperial core. So yeah, that's just a generic TLDR, I guess.
Yeah. Each kind of
And it's not
relies on the other.
outdated. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not outdated. Lenin's point about that absolutely is not. People think
Yeah.
because there's like global currencies, which one is dominant over the others, that it relies on a revolution in that state because that currency is a tool of domination over other economies, which does not allow for a revolution to spring up in those local territories, is such a strong imperative. But no, it's not. It's genuinely not how it works because you can opt out. Yes, you will have sanctions. It will be a nightmare like Cuba, but you absolutely can opt out. But yeah, very long conversation. There you go. You even started talking about fucking currency. That's like that could be like 30 minutes. Okay. Be kind. Beautiful, beautiful name. Thank you so much. What is the Marxist view of indigenous? There's glitches here. Indigenous being given back, e.g., question.
Oh, it
I'm
sounds like
guessing
yours is
they're
kind of
trying to ask.
glitched. Land back, probably.
Okay, no, because it doesn't say land back, but okay, in America, Canada, Australia,
We spoke
Guatemala.
about this a bit earlier
Yeah.
when we talked about Alaska, but we're also planning on doing an episode on this, I think.
Yeah,
So if
I
it's
think that'd be
okay,
a
we
good
can
one.
also skip this one.
With a person of an indigenous person would be really cool if you guys have any
Yeah.
recommendations, etc., etc. Even better if it's an indigenous Marxist person, but it doesn't have to be. Again, we're trying to be a proper internationalist podcast, not get on Bob to talk about what's going on in Libya.
Exactly right. Yeah.
Stevie D, we shall seize the memes of production, comrades. Oh man, you are 45 and I love you, Stevie. Stevie is awesome. Oh, I love you, Stevie. That's so cute. Hugo Castellanos. GameStop can't organize due to its illegal pump and dump. Yeah, that was a direct consequence of the pump and dump, unfortunately, and the whole organization kind of suffering led to a lot of employees being let off. You can never estimate long-term consequences. Probably, for example, the Amazon union right now is going to lead to a lot of people probably getting killed off in the organization itself that are potentially seen by the company as potential future union organizers.
Yeah.
But they would do that if they're stupid, by the way, because the last guy they fired, who was a popular guy among Amazon workers, now created the first union. So, but we'll see. We'll see how smart Jeff is. You guys' opinions, or do I move to the next one?
I'd agree with that.
Good.
Yeah.
You covered very well. Yeah.
Vlad Slavsky again, you fucking machine from Mexico. Vlad Slavsky from Mexico, so Latino Americano and a Slav. This is like fucking cock drags on the floor, probably. If there were ways to help countries like Cuba to prosper, what else can we do in addition to combating propaganda?
Oh god, that's a Military sabotage. No, I'm kidding. um, yeah, well, fighting propaganda is the number one thing you can do. But after that, then it becomes monetary support or trying to increase diplomatic support and all that kind of stuff. And when it comes on, when we're talking about countries, this is more difficult than we're talking about organizations specifically. Um, so I think again the propaganda war is still not won yet. So you can work at that a little bit more. But yeah, if there are other things that you can do, it's mostly either monetary support or attempts to increase diplomatic recognition or for a bettering of what's it called relations, and that requires institutions and organizations that would have to be built in, like, I don't know, schools and universities and workplaces. It's a very long process that would drag on, and I don't think would be a cause that regular everyday Americans would pick up very easily.
Yeah.
But there are things you could do. That's what I think.
Absolutely. I don't really think I can add anything. Look, practical ways for you to like get something from it and help Cuba out as well. Like first thing that comes to mind, because you can find projects like this all over the place. For example, if you want to be as based as Hakim and be a doctor, why not apply and go study in Cuba, for example? Because Cuba is a socialist
Yeah.
state. No, you will not be taking a spot of a Cuban who can become a doctor. I heard this argument before. No, it doesn't have limits because it's not, the universities aren't profit led.
Yeah.
But you as an international student, you most likely will have to come in with some capital, which would be perfect. You can help Cuba, you can help the medical system, and you can study in one of the most when it comes to medicine, advanced countries on planet Earth. So just random small thing. Like there's so many small things that you can. Okay, that one wouldn't be small. That would be very impressive. But there's many things that you can do. It's on you to find it.
Yeah, basically.
Like JT or Hakim won't tell you what exactly it is. You can sit down. You can find a way to help. And some savages that want to fucking sell guns to them, to you, my man. I have nothing against that in Minecraft.
Yeah, Minecraft. It's a parody.
In Minecraft, yeah, exactly. Woo. Fuck, we should delete that probably. Opera, sending in some R5. What I don't know what it is, but it sounds very legit. Why Hakim say read the book? Me head hurty swaggle.
Well, I'm sorry. That's my. I've been put on this earth to make you read theory. All right, that is my purpose in life.
Yeah, that's our
You can't just
Hakim.
read, man. Like if you can, if you can, why not? Get a page done a day. Who cares? 2 pages. You'll cover stuff.
Yeah, I'm
It's
a
fine.
very slow reader. Like it took me forever even just to get through State and Revolution, which is, for a normal person, an afternoon book. So, don't be ashamed of how long it takes you to get through something, or,
Exactly.
join a book club. If there are other people who are interested in learning, you can talk about it together. That's a huge way to get some of the concepts you might be struggling with. And also read secondary sources. So read what other people have said about the book that you're reading. That really helps to give a little bit of perspective, especially if it's like a modern secondary source that talks about it. It might give you some analogies that would help you understand kind of some of the more old-fashioned language in some theory.
Absolutely, especially with Das Kapital and stuff. Like I have said this many times. I have gone through them, but I probably have managed to properly digest 30% of it. Doesn't mean I don't understand the concepts, but like the actual page to page. To quote one old communist that I met many years ago, he said, "When you first read the Communist Manifesto, you read it for 2 days. When you read it for the second time, you read it for 3 weeks. When you read it for the third time, you read it for 3 months. And when you really understand it, you read it for a year. You read every page like 20 fucking. You can eat." What the information is there, because it's not very direct. Let's just say that our thought leaders were kind of all over the place, alcoholic imbeciles in certain things, as much as we love them. So it takes a few readings to understand the specific thing. You shouldn't feel stupid for doing so.
Yeah, the tradition is very deep, and there's just so much, so it's hard to
Yeah.
actually wrap your head around most. Yeah, at least all of it.
Exactly. And for example, us as
So,
creators, I don't know if you notice when you create a video and like people are misunderstanding you for like a 15-minute video that like really made things super simple. Imagine what
mm,
like Engels and Marx in heaven or hell or the universe or wherever they are like feel like right now. It's like, man,
yeah.
you're misreading the shit. Like, oh,
Oh fuck.
it's
Oh man.
funny. I'm having so much fun, by the way. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah,
Yeah, this is
same.
great.
I'm loving this.
This is so much fun. I think we should definitely do this more. And it wouldn't be the same without the community and the very, very epic questions. Dead Inside 97. You were born in 1997. You're not dead inside. Uh, hey from India. Oh, fucking love it, India. Much love. Really love your podcast. Also, Hakeem, have you tried chai? Are you serious? Are you really asking him this question, or are you a strictly no milk with your tea kind of guy? Oh,
I have tried it. I don't mind it on occasion, but vast majority of the time, I think milk in tea is an abomination. Sorry. I'm sorry to
my
say, but hey,
because
sometimes on occasion it's okay.
my Zimbabwean wife would take immense offense at that, having been perverted by the British milk in their tea.
Yeah. I'm sorry. It's like tea is so good on its own. Why would you know? Like milk is okay. Personally, I absolutely hate milk. I love dairy products, but I hate milk. I despise it. I can't drink it. But cheese and yogurt and everything else I love.
What about chocolate milk?
But for people who, I don't like chocolate milk. I don't like chocolate either. Just in general, I have a weird fucking palate.
Huh?
yeah, I don't like
Yeah,
sweet things either. I just
yeah,
don't like
it's the
sweet shit.
same. Yeah. I like when fruit and stuff is sweet. I love it, but candy and shit like that, I never liked it. I don't get cravings for like
But
even
do you
candies.
have? I know we're going off topic, but when you eat an apple, right, like a whole apple,
Yes.
half of it really good.
Yeah.
The other half, I get tired. I don't want to eat the other half.
Yeah. Okay, look, this will sound really stupid, but you know when you slice up your fruit, there's some whimsical
Yeah,
like child
yeah.
thing about it that it just tastes better when it's sliced up. I don't know why, but that's what I do with my fucking like with apples or whatever other fruit. I always make sure to cut it up. Um, then you feel it's
So
more special. I have no idea.
So JT, Hakeem's gonna be like that old guy that probably also exists in the States that you see in a park, just sitting with his
I'm the
stomach
guy.
out,
I'm
with a
that guy.
knife, slicing an apple.
Yeah.
But you know when he
I'm that
slices it
guy. I'm already that.
off the apple and it's still on the knife, and then he puts it
Oh
as it's
yeah.
still on the knife right
Yeah.
in his mouth, and then chews and
I
like
mean,
nods.
you know,
That's
at
Hakeem at
work,
75.
at work, I'm known as the fruit guy because every time I have my lunch, I finish my lunch, and afterwards I always like whoever I'm talking with. I'm like, okay, just like give me a second. I'm just gonna go get my fruit, and I go and I'll have like an apple or a pear or a plum or some shit, and I'll bring the plate, and I have a favorite knife at work as
Aw.
well. And I go and as we're chatting shit, I'm doing exactly like you said. I do the. You know when you grab the apple and the knife in one hand and you just kind of
Oh
slice a
yeah.
slice off and it's still on the knife and you lift it up to your mouth and you eat. This is what I do, and
That's
I just
very
get
impressive.
oranges, shit like
Oh,
that.
that is such a grandpa
I'm
thing.
I'm a fucking boomer. I don't know what to tell you. I don't drink. I don't smoke, but I eat fucking I eat apple slices off the knife. Oh fuck.
And that's why we love you.
Yeah.
Mm,
Wow.
maybe. Oh, fuck.
Okay, to go to the next one by Joshua Dobbs. Oh man, that name is so good. If that's like your real name and you didn't change it because you want to be famous in Hollywood, like you have great parents. You have really good parents. Bit of a baby leftist here. You guys have taught me so much. Thank you for everything you do. Thank you for being a baby leftist and actually openly engaging with our ideas. Thank you so much for the donation. You
Mm.
guys, do you want to suck Joshua's dick?
Yeah, gladly.
Yeah. Good great job. I mean, being able to identify that you're still learning by calling yourself a baby
Yeah.
leftist. I think that's great because a lot of people will, jump in and say, "Oh, I've read one piece of theory. I'm an expert now. I'm an XYZ kind of
They
communist."
read one
Exactly.
Wikipedia article.
But
I like the JT. Probably JT has now drank 2 beers at least because I like this honesty. That is so fucking annoying, man. People like it's one thing to tell people you should read, but it's a very
I'm a
different
white guy
thing
from.
to walk in and act like you fucking found
please, okay.
Marx's bones and
Oh,
then inherited his energy from it. Like
oh,
Jesus Christ, dude.
please, okay. There's a white guy from fucking Arkansas this time. Yeah, it's not Wisconsin because now we like Wisconsin.
Hmm.
White guy from fucking Arkansas read 2 Wikipedia articles and now he's gonna come and tell you about the cultural and political complexities of the Balkans. What he thinks you guys
Oh
should do.
yes, yes, yes.
Oh my.
I will shake his
Oh my.
hand while it's behind his back and 2 fingers broken. Um,
No.
uh,
Oh
Red
my.
Robert Wilcox says, "Aloha from U.S. occupied Hawaii."
Mm.
Hey.
Fucking aloha. Yeah, you guys don't have it easy. That's what I'm gonna
No.
say. Like,
Yeah.
but
Kick
it's
the
like
Navy out of
now.
there. Kick
Yeah,
friggin' what Mark Zuckerberg out of there. Throw him in the ocean. Sorry about that. You guys deserve better than you've gotten from the United States for sure.
Like, it's one thing. Okay, now I'm gonna sound insensitive, but I will still say it. Maybe Red will appreciate it. It's one thing to like have your whole nation annihilated, which obviously horrible thing, but another one to have your whole nation annihilated and then the ancestors of the annihilators uh, coming to your hometown and acting like rich tourists every
Yeah.
fucking month. That must be fucking insane, dude. But yeah. Um, Terrence G, another amazing name. Terrence G. Wow. JT, I was wondering what narrative you heard about Malcolm X growing up. I have a friend who grew up in bumfuck Louisiana, and he was taught that he was a hateful man and got what was coming for him.
Yeah, that's kind of the angle that most Americans hear. It's that um, Malcolm X was the bad guy and MLK was the good guy. Like he was the Malcolm X was the violence to achieve ends, and violence is never okay. So say the people who tell us stuff. And MLK was never violent. He just wanted everybody to love each other. So they're playing them off each other and creating false narratives about both of them to advance their agenda. So yeah, I mean Malcolm X was a fascinating figure. Definitely do some reading about Malcolm X, but also look into MLK too. It's not the narrative we're taught here in the States.
Exactly right.
Absolutely.
But by the way, Malcolm X has to be my absolute favorite. Sorry, I am now eating a. I had a wrap left from earlier, so.
Oh yeah.
I haven't eaten anything all day. I've just had a bunch of dates and some yogurt. But yeah, what I was saying is, absolutely my favorite American political figure would have to be Malcolm X. Such a brilliant mind, such an amazing orator. That's
Yeah.
what it is in English, right?
Yeah.
Amazing orator, very sharp, and what's more impressive is he, like Fred Hampton and a bunch of other
Black Panthers.
people, yeah, other Black Panthers. I mean, other people of revolutionary tradition, both black and white, and amongst other ethnicities as well, that come from very low educational levels, right? People haven't even finished the 8th grade in some examples, but they still manage to become such great minds, sharp minds, able to articulate themselves incredibly well, develop powerful arguments, and argue, not only argue but win against people with master's degrees and PhDs, and people who are specifically taught by the system to be a particular way, to talk a specific way, yeah, he's just. I've never come out reading or watching something from Malcolm X, not only convinced, but like almost emotionally affected by it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Great speaker.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. Drake Armstrong comes in with thanks for answering about euthanasia. I think my previous question got lost. Wanted to ask Hakeem his opinion on the geopolitical status of Iran being an anti-communist theocracy that still opposes American hegemony.
Oh boy. Hakeem's gonna answer with a mouthful.
All right.
Probably 3 videos, 3 books to answer that one.
All right, TLDR. We are anti-imperialists. That doesn't mean we have to agree 100% with what one country does. Just because we don't support American aggression against Iran does not mean we support the theocratic system or supposedly theocratic system that Iran has. Furthermore, the relations. I'm like, okay, TLDR, there's primary and secondary contradictions, and our primary contradiction, particularly for people in the West, their primary contradiction isn't what Iran is doing. This isn't even a secondary contradiction at this point. The primary contradiction is number one, capitalism in their own lives, number two, imperialism and its effects worldwide. So that is the problem that they will have to contend with. Not what Iran is doing, basically.
Absolutely.
Hakim is dedicated Khomeiniist, we know that. I'm anything but. Oh my God. I will maybe one day I'll go mask off about Khomeini, but not today. All right.
Oh. And today one might say like we are defined as imperialists only in verbal kind of in a verbal manner in which we hold our principles, but it's as long as we're in a conversation. But there's a lot of communists, trust me, that where it's not just verbal, and me explaining how that works and how states like, for example, Iran, throughout the 80s and 70s have directly assisted certain revolutionary movements, especially, for example, Palestinian. Yes, it's a different place, but Palestinian, for example, struggles for liberation have directly assisted Marxist movements, etc., etc., is something that really cannot be undermined, because when you're in this sort of struggle that we're talking about here, you get your allies wherever you can, and you keep them as close as possible because the other guy pays a lot more. So when you do have an ally that is loyal, trust me, they share your material interests, because the other guy is much more willing to pay for loyalty, while you can only promise them ideals and dreams that could potentially be achieved. So all I'm saying is, you might not disagree with even with a lot of things that certain states are doing, but currently we can use as many allies as we can. I mean, we always did. That's what happens when you're fighting with someone who can pay for loyalty while you cannot. Devin Sidhu comes in with hello from Settler State, Canada. Yes, go on, go on. Apologies.
Just 1 point. Jean-Jacques Gel said, Hakim, can you speak Farsi? Yes, I can say Mark Bar America. That's what I can say.
Even I know what that means.
Sorry, you got back at you. Go on.
No, you're fine, because the chat is so fucking stupid. Not you guys chatting in the chat, but the software.
System, yeah.
Like, it's not like on Twitch. It's like completely messed up. Mr. Soaner, as a cinephile, I would love to hear each of your favorite films. Also, love you all. Please never stop this podcast. We already had an episode on films, actually, that was posted as a bonus episode on Patreon, so you can check it out there. But I think you can spoil it. My favorite film, which I think is a horrible film, but is an amazing film at the same time, is The Death of Mr. Lazurescu. JT?
I don't know if I could pick a favorite. I don't think I can pick a favorite, but I'll say
okay,
Interstellar.
Then give three.
I love Interstellar. Fantastic watch.
Absolutely.
I'm just gonna say Interstellar and leave it at
Are
that.
you coming?
He was fucking adorable.
I hate being put on the spot. I can't think of other movies.
You're so cute. Man, I love JT so much. Like, you guys have no idea. Hakim, you degenerate. What's your favorite?
My favorite movies, there's Amélie, the 2003 movie, French movie. I love it. There's a movie called Delitto di Amore. It's an Italian movie. It's called The Crime of Love, I think is the English what's it called, translation. And it's a very, very good movie. It's basically a 1970s, early 1970s Italian movie about a love story set on the background of class struggle in a Milanese factory. Very, very beautiful movie. Stunning, absolutely. Otherwise, The Conformist, which is awesome. Sorry, go on.
No, go on. The Conformist is a good movie. The Conformist is a very good movie. So is JT's favorite film. But the other one that you mentioned, Hakim, I already have it on the list. I have to watch. Quinn comes in with the pod bands of Turtle Island would be a good collab for indigenous topic for America, at least. The pod Bands of Turtle Island. Thank you so much.
Yeah, good
Somebody
tip.
write that down, guys. Yeah, very good tip. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Sam Lawlor, what are your opinions on the DPRK and the propaganda America and the West used to illustrate it as an evil nation? Hakim has made a video on this. We have talked about this 1,000 times. Thank you so much for your support, but we covered this. Camo the Hidden DJ, just a donation. How are you a hidden DJ? Because you wrote DJ in your name. Like, I know you're a DJ now. Remix some shit for me, baby. Insane donation, literally, like what the fuck, by Blender Freaky. Thank you. Any reading recommendations for reading about socialism itself instead of focusing just on the issues of capitalism? What was the episode when we have a whole list, which is for free, available everywhere?
It was one of our early, I think episode 7 or 8 or something like that. We have
Yes, let me find
intro.
it.
We have Reform
Is
Revolution
it L?
episode.
We have an L's of Socialism. One was 7. 9 is more like the wrong wing. 8 is about billionaires. So what was it in the L's of Socialism one, or no? What the fuck is socialism?
No.
Episode
6.
Yeah.
Episode 6. In the beginning and towards the end, you get a very, very big list that is not only criticism of capitalism, but of other things, including one that talks about potential socialist experimentos.
My Discord server, the mods from my Discord server and the Deprogram server are working on like a master document with recommendations for all sorts of topics for reading. So at some point that will be done and available in both my Discord and the Deprogram Discord, just a giant document for you to peruse and pick topics that you're interested in. So that should help.
Fuck yeah. That's so good. Claudio Monteverdi asks, what is you guys' opinion on competition? I'll jump in. I don't think competition is bad. Competition used with the profit motive is very bad. It does produce certain levels of productivity, but in the long run, it's a snake that eats its own ass. And it ends up quite ironically leading to a system in which, due to competition, we are receiving worse and worse products while being promised the best. Competition in alternatives to capitalism is not necessarily something that is bad, but that leads to, but it would not be the main motivator, because competition never genuinely has led to people creating the light bulb or planes or electricity or cars. It's the inherent human need to leave something behind you and do something for your fellow human for the sake of doing it for them, not because you want to be the main Chad in the room.
Look, competition is good unless I lose. Then competition is bad. That's the only answer.
Yeah, I fucking love that. I will remember that. I'm stealing that. If you guys want to tackle that, or I can move to the next one. This is so much fun.
Nah, I'm good.
This is so much fun.
We also covered the question in one of those intro episodes into socialism as well.
Yeah.
Exactly. Man, Hakim is enjoying his foodies. Stevie D, and I can feel my vodka slowly hit. No, that's very good. Like, it's a live stream. We're streaming for 2.5 hours. It's absolutely understandable for someone to eat. Yes.
So yeah, I broke my fast with some yogurt and some dates, as you're supposed to. I mean, it's sunna, but it's like you don't have to, but that's what people usually do. And now I'm having a shawarma wrap, basically, with like pickles and shit in it. It's so fucking good. Oh my god, I'm so glad.
Oh shit, that sounds so good.
Quick, let me jump in real quick, because this isn't a super chat. It's just from Yugoslav Minecraft Steve Armad again.
Go.
Yugopnik, how much money to get you to translate all 30 of Tito's collected works?
Isn't there a? Yeah, there should be a translation. I have 3, which probably encompass around the 10 works. I've read all of them, obviously. But they were made in like the original copies. I have 3. How much money to man? Dude, they're for sure translated. I mean, great question, but it's not about
I've personally,
how much money. It would like take me years. Like it would take me at least a year and a half, because the wording used there, like I don't even. It would take me a year and then JT probably 3 months, because I would text him all the time about what does this word mean in English, So, uh, uh, but I would unironically love doing that. I think I said it before. If, for example, I was able to make my a Git prop work for the movement a full-time job, then why not spend like 2-3 hours a day translating? That's very cool.
I cannot wait for I don't know if you guys have kept up to date with this, but Luna Oe is translating
Oh yeah.
her Vietnamese textbooks, Marxism textbooks, and I cannot wait. I read Soviet textbooks on ideology and philosophy and stuff, and there's a Khrushchev era work. It's like 600 pages, and it's basically like an introductory into Marxism and Leninism, and it's good, but it's so, I don't know why, like especially Khrushchev era stuff you begin to notice, but it's so Guevara comments on it. He's like, he would say, the Soviets would send us bricks that have already done all the thinking for us, meaning like very thick books that have everything already thought,
Yeah.
And that's kind of what it feels like. It's incredibly.
But that's the point. Respectfully to you, Hakim. It's supposed to be read by someone who doesn't know jack shit about Marxism, and be extremely digested. I feel like Luna, for example, their translations of previous shit that I don't know how many of our viewers know, but there was a whole fucking thing online with people shitting on each other about, what does dialectics mean? What does this mean? Etc. Etc. I'm not going to go into that, but I need people to understand that when it's government books that are printed for free and given to everyone to understand a given concept, obviously they're going to be very simplified. Do you remember going through your fucking high school history book and compare it to, for example, your historical knowledge that you have now? Yes, it was very simplified, but that's the whole fucking point.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's why it's made to be used by most.
By the way, I was just gonna add on also. Sorry to interrupt, but
no, please.
That same textbook has a abridged version with commentary from the State Department, American State Department.
Oh wow.
It's the funniest shit, and it's clearly like some Mr. PhD fucking university guy, and he's trying to come at like Marxism and Leninism, but he doesn't 100% get it, right? And it's just like some things he gets really right, but some things he gets really right. It's so stupid. One day we'll make a joke thing about it, maybe.
Yeah, that sounds like fun.
Absolutely. TVD comes in with a very, not, in my opinion, not difficult, but controversial question. I do have a serious question. Have you heard this bad conflation of decolonization equals white genocide going around BreadTube with the debate bros? I'll just say this. If decolonization is not addressed and capitalism stays as the main system for the next 3 to 8 decades, right? Decolonization will be addressed through the harshest of measures, because that's what happens as the system deflates and as it gets more problematic for the local population, and as crises emerge, ethnic conflict arises. And at that point, who's going to be the majority in, for example, the United States? Definitely not white people. And certain things will happen. So instead of saying that decolonization, now I'm talking like a super practical guy from fucking Eastern Europe. Instead of saying that decolonization today is a white genocide, if you motherfuckers do not start addressing this today, or create a Marxist government through revolution, one of those two options, it will come back to bite you in the ass harsher than you can ever imagine. That's Yugopnik's take. So basically, it's a very stupid opinion to have. But even if you are afraid of a thing called white genocide, which is already a meme, but even if you're afraid of that, by deflating the importance of decolonization today, you might have what you're the most afraid of one day come back to wipe you off the face of the earth. Pun
No, yeah.
intended.
I find it very. I find it funny because it just reflects the idea, or it reflects the fact that they're afraid that what whites have historically done to minorities is going to start being done to them, and this is sort of
Yeah.
like a ethnic majority complex that is not only reserved to settler populations, but is more common among settler populations. The reason you're afraid of becoming a minority, to these people at least, is because what they know what they did to minorities, and they don't want it to be done to them. Despite the fact that, exactly how Yogachnik said, being incredibly practical about this, if the sooner they deal with it, the less of a problem it will be for them in the future. So
Yeah.
it's a very long and deep conversation.
It's very, very. But the more you tell everyone around you that the only way for them to fight you is the way that you fought their ancestors, what do you think they'll do?
Mm.
Like, what do you think they'll do?
Mm.
And as more, but the worst thing is, the more you exclude indigenous people, people fighting for national liberation, etc., from Marxist movements, like, where do you think they will go? Where do you think they will go? What, they'll just stop being political? I mean, when a black nationalist does not feel comfortable in a Marxist movement, where do they go? You should be able to answer that question yourself. MV with just want to say thanks to you guys for doing this show. Keep up the good work. Thank you, MV. Another amazing name. Oh my god, why are all our lovely listeners fucking Chad as fuck?
Chad.
Another
Absolute
name.
Chads.
Devin Sidhu. I hope I pronounced it properly. Maybe it's Sidhu or Sidhu. Fucking amazing. Hello from Settler State. I read about this. No, I didn't. Hello from another Canadian who says from Settler State, Canada, which is bravo to you. Hello from Settler State, Canada. Thoughts on referring to yourselves as MLs instead of MLMs? I noticed others like Marxist Paul, much love to Marxist Paul, always use
Indeed,
MLM. Just wanted to know what you guys thought about it.
All right, TLDR. Is it okay if I just TLDR this?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, so Marxism-Leninism is ML, Marxism-Leninism is LML, MLM. There was a movement, or at least a trend of thought, that began in the late 80s and is extended into today, which believed that there has been a rupture between Marxism-Leninism, Maoism, and Marxism-Leninism, that the theory has developed further, and they use a couple of examples. I mean, it differs depending on who you ask. Like People's War is one aspect, but some people think it's universal, some people think it isn't. New Democracy is one aspect that people include into MLM. There's the Mass Line is an example. Like it gets very complicated, but generally, I'm personally of the opinion that the vast majority of quote unquote new things in Maoism or even MLM thought has already had seeds in Marxism-Leninism, which already had seeds in Orthodox Marxism. So at the end of the day, all this is just a natural progression of things. You can consider it to be a rupture at the end. Fine, that's your prerogative. And if you want to, if you believe that, then you can call yourself an MLM. I think at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter because whether you're a Marxist-Leninist or Marxist-Leninist Maoist, at the very foundational point, we agree that capitalism is the contradiction that we face, and by second hand, of course, imperialism. And if you're a white guy in Minnesota, then you should be trying to be, well, an anti-capitalist. You shouldn't really care that much what's going on with the 17 fucking Maoist parties in India, right? So that's just my opinion.
Yeah.
I agree fully.
Well said.
Yeah, I avoid giving a specific definition of my school of thought because I think that the school of thought which will prove itself as the most right, history will present to us. The reason I feel, though, very closely aligned and with utmost respect to ML specifically, is because they've actually had experiments that have lasted for an impressive amount of time in the imperialist global order in which they existed, and that is why I feel closest to them. But
Mm.
other than that, I wish all the schools of thoughts the best of luck, and history will tell us which one actually leads us to a communist world.
Mm-hmm.
Drake Armstrong, man, what's up with these
Side
names?
note,
Yeah, go.
they're amazing names for sure. But just a side note, oh, excuse me. I think it would be nice to like slowly start wrapping up. So we're gonna like clear through these last couple of questions, I think, and then we can just conclude for the day.
Yep.
If that's
works for
okay
me.
with you guys.
Of course, yes.
And to the chat, I apologize, but I do have work
Yeah.
tomorrow.
This man has to save lives.
So, all right.
Coming in from Drake, another impressive name. JT, thoughts on the revolutionary potential of Bikini Bottom?
I've unironically wanted to do a video titled Squidward Tentacles and the Plight of the Modern Worker. So I think there's tremendous revolutionary potential in Bikini Bottom. If you watch SpongeBob, you will see that they are very prone to developing armed mobs. So I think with the right leadership under Comrade Tentacles and his excellent oratory skills, you could see a revolution in Bikini Bottom.
Oh, better answer than I would have given. Stuart, Frank, thank you so much for the donation. HH, thank you so much for the donation. No questions. Igor, probably from Poland, that asked the question about Poland previously. Do you guys have any tips on how to talk to liberals? I can have all the evidence in the world, but they still hang on to their anti-communist beliefs, and it just frustrates me so much. We have released a series of podcast episodes, which we will continue soon as a series. Titled specifically episode 2, Communism is When No Toothbrush, and the previous one, Communism is When No Food, where we help address the most basic degenerate, insane arguments against the ideology itself. So you can refer to any of those two, and I think you will have that answer given to you in a much more elaborate way than you probably ever asked for. Derry Thompson, I think if push came to shove, the colonizing population would finish what was started 300 years ago. Oh, in a war of that manner, that remains to be seen. There are lots of, let's just say it this way, international factors which would not allow a local ethno-based revolution to just go without support. I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
But yes, most likely, if without that support, yes, it would end very quickly, unfortunately. HH coming in the last second, probably last question we will be able to take this fine evening. And by the way, guys, I think we should do this at least once a month, if not more.
Yeah,
Chat,
for
please
sure. I
tell
love
us
this.
if you've enjoyed this. This is so much fucking fun, especially you guys coming in with some funny and some actually truthful and the tiny minority 5% of stupid questions, but mostly with very good ones. HH coming in towards Brother Hakim. As a Yazidi, is there any representation for them in the government? And what's your thought about the Kurdistan government, the PKK? Oh, this is again
Okay.
full video.
Very, very big question. So I'm just gonna TLDR. Number one, there is some minor representation, Yazidi representation, both in the Kurdish regional government and in the central Iraqi government. Number two, what are thoughts about the Kurdistan government? Which one? There are two governments in Kurdistan, and they're always fighting. The Kurdistan government is incredibly corrupt, somehow even more corrupt than the central Iraqi government. amongst many other things like the rampant nationalism and all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of negatives that come with it. The only positive I can say is relatively they've managed to maintain a more secure, if I can say, like more politically secure, at least around Erbil, for example. Erbil and Slemania, all the other cities are not much better. But they managed to keep, to some extent, a relatively secure political structure, I could say, but the economics are absolutely horrible. Like the thing where people are working and they don't get paid for 6 months. This is something that is very common. So that's for the Kurdish government. And finally, the PKK. The PKK hasn't been a Marxist organization since the 70s. They've completely abandoned this. They're now unapologetic Kurdish nationalists who also partake in smuggling activities and drug running. They regularly kidnap like kids and then like brainwash them into this the shit that they do. It's not a good organization. You shouldn't be supporting it. That's for sure.
What was the one Kurdish organization, though, that obviously you as an ML might not agree with them fully, but that we could say that is relative? Tell me if I'm wrong, please. Like, this is live.
If you're thinking of
YPK,
Rojava
what?
and
Yeah.
no, them
Mhm.
too. Yeah, they're like I don't want to be too controversial, but um, they've received some very sketchy American support. They have
Yeah, but
on
my
American
enemy of my
order.
enemy is my friend. Like, fuck it,
Yes,
US dollar,
yes.
fuck it, why not? But yeah.
But their expressed purpose was at first, autonomy for Kurdish regions, and then they expanded way beyond Kurdish regions to occupy, like land owned by Assyrians and Arabs, like Arab villages and stuff. They completely took over oil and natural field
Very
resources of
Balkan
Syria,
scenario.
particularly. Yeah,
I know the
and
feeling.
they
Yeah,
use
yeah.
yeah, and then they sell it to like Israel and Turkey and shit like that illegally. There's so many other problems with it, amongst which like the idea of there's some like horizontally organized like feminist anarchist utopia. No, they're incredibly socially conservative. They're incredibly nationalistic. The stuff that you see when some white fucking I don't know what's it called starry-eyed documentary guy goes over there. They're putting on a show for him mostly. I know people in the area. I have family in the area. And the stuff I hear is not at all
There we
what
go.
it's propped up to be. With that said, though, that doesn't mean that there aren't progressive forces in the area. I'm just saying you have to be incredibly critical. Don't listen to just there's a general like dearth, I could say, of revolutionary movements that people want to support in the world. So when one pops up, they just kind of jump to support it without actually doing the research, right? Like for example, if you were to ask vast majority of people if they support Rojava, at least on the left, you'd get a sizable chunk of people who say yes, and then you ask them, okay, can you tell me anything about them? And then you're gonna realize that actual knowledge of it is incredibly shallow, and that's a
And
problematic,
that's
let's say.
exactly what conservatives and even more hardcore reactionaries use against us on a daily, and
Yeah.
not only with quasi attempted anarchists, if we can call it that, movements, but even, for example, with more alike to us, like socialist governments, like for example Cuba. You say, oh, you like Cuba, and then people come and throw like imprisonment of gays at you, and then you have to take 20 minutes to fucking explain the complexity of that, etc., etc. So I agree with Hakim completely. You should know as much as you can before you start flying a flag over certain places if it's the ideal utopian representation of your belief system. Because if you do not, there's gonna be not one but 100 neocons and fascists and even more capitalists ready to fucking use that against you.
The next thing I could take it. The next super chat from James Frio, who sent $5. Thank you very much. He says, "Hi, I love the podcast. In what ways can people get involved in mutual aid slash improving material conditions outside of capitalist means?" Um, I not to plug my bullshit, but I made a video titled "Revolution How to Guide." It's like 30 minutes and it's timestamped and everything, in which I go about direct mutual aid and how to improve material conditions with examples and all that kind of stuff. So refer to that video, I would say, because it's 30 minutes. It's way more in depth than what we could say here in two. Outside
Exactly.
of
And
capitalist means, sorry, go on.
go. No, I was gonna read the next one. Go.
I was the question outside of capitalist means I think means like non-monetary monetary forms. Sadly, the vast majority of viable mutual aid is monetary, so there would have to be some sort of a fundraising of some form.
Sorry.
Your
Go on.
labor, but your work, your actual presence, and your physical activity, your mental. But as Hakim says, financial, unfortunately, ends up being much more impactful. Socialist Swan, who has an amazing channel. I don't know if they posted recently, but genuinely a brilliant motherfucker from, correct me if I'm wrong, Ireland. Came in with a donation saying, thank you for this. Got hit with some bad news today. I'm really sorry. And listening to you guys is keeping my spirits high. Love everything you do. We love you right back, my man. Everything
Thank you
that's
very much.
happening is passable. You'll get through it, man. I know how it feels.
Yeah, and we're glad to help in any way we can. I mean, this part of the
Yes,
most
please do,
rewarding
John.
part of doing this podcast is that how many people have written to us and said, "Hey, this is so nice. It keeps my spirits up. It gives me something to do while I'm driving to deliver pizzas and stuff like that." And that's huge for us. It's like something that we all wish we had had. So we're glad to be able to do that for you.
And please keep letting us know, because we love to hear it. It's the number one motivation to keep doing this.
Yeah.
That's why we even when we started, we weren't expecting this massive wave of support and people actually enjoying this shit. We thought we'd have like basically no listeners for the first year. But alhamdulillah, it's taken off a little bit. It's done a little bit better than we were expecting.
Yeah.
And the number one motivation for us to continue doing this and to try to improve ourselves is your feedback. So yeah, we're always glad to be there for you guys.
Could
I
not
think there
agree
was
more.
one-
Like exactly one more. The saddest fucking thing is people telling us the main thing I wait for Friday when I go to work is because I know either Monday or Friday I get to not slave away from my boss, even though I'm at work, because I just chill and listen to the Deprogram. That's the biggest flex you can give us. That's the
My
biggest
favorite
motivation you
pastime?
can give us.
My favorite pastime of you guys is when you tell us, so like on a Friday, instead of working, you just listen to us.
Yeah, I love it.
I love that. Keep it up. Keep it up.
And the last but not least, by Thomas Drover, any opinion on the Communist Party of Canada? I am on the other side of the planet. I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I've heard that there's like something with the RCP which is off. I'm not even gonna start. I'm not educated enough on this. My apologies.
Yeah. The only thing Americans know about Canada is that you're very polite, and that's it, actually. So we'll have to have a Canadian
maple syrup.
Yeah, we should have people from different countries come on and talk about the national politics of their countries. That'd be kind of interesting. Get some stuff we haven't heard before.
Absolutely.
Anyway, I think that'll about do it for today. But if you guys have stuck around this whole time, thank you all so much for coming to our very first live stream. We hope you enjoyed it. We certainly had a blast, and there were so many good questions. We didn't expect quite this kind of a response, so we're really, really happy to see it. You guys are the best. We love you.
Love you, absolutely. I can't wait to do this again.
Agreed.
Thank you for coming on. And now, for the ones that are still here, correct me if I'm wrong, boys, but they get to experience the absolute mess, which is logging off for the Deprogram live.
Yeah, let's
So,
do it.
boys, who's gonna start it? So that I can do it if you guys want to.
Yeah, go for it.
And then, okay, but number 2 is I don't know. I'm throwing a coin. Number 2 is gonna be. Who JT or Hakim? Who's gonna be number 2?
I'm always in number 2, Habibi.
Okay, you're number 2. Okay, so number 2, and then JT, you are gonna log off, and then you're gonna give a random stupid comment afterwards.
Okay.
As you always do. So, thank you for joining us for this one of a time, and hopefully not one of a time, extremely improvised Q&A/shit post episode. This has been the Deprogram. My name is Yugopnik.
I'm Hakim.
And I'm JT, and we're debate bros now. Bye, everyone.
And then it starts playing. Bye-bye.
All right, we're clear.